What's up, everyone? Kawaii here. Welcome to episode, I think, 34 of the Weebs of the Roundtable podcast. But yeah, in this podcast, we're going to be talking about our final thoughts on the summer 2022 anime. So joining me right here is Memory NK, Ryu Seishun, Ramen Reviews, and Queen Deja. So, without further ado, let's get on to it. So, as usual, we're going to go on my anime list. We're going to start at the top of the list, and we're going to work our way down. So, the first anime on the list, if you guys are on the mobile version of my anime list, is perhaps one of the most disappointing shows of 2022. I, of course, am talking about The Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2.
Oh shit, that score.
No, for some reason, this was one of the most anticipated sequels. That one and I guess No Game No Life were probably one of the most anticipated ever. I was like, I'll wait until it airs, and then I considered seeing how just mediocre it was.
I stopped reacting to it after.
I stopped.
I don't even know where I stopped at.
I was just like, fuck it. I can't. I had to. This was one of these many fucking shows where I literally just had to take a shot of coffee right before I go into an episode. So that says a lot. It's that bad.
Okay. So as someone who hasn't seen second season, and I probably might not for a while, why? Is it because it's boring, lack of anything happening, or just
Bro.
Well, first of
it
all,
was interesting for the first couple of episodes, and then I think about episode 5 or 6, something about like a lighthouse. That's where it got boring, and I was just like, I'm done.
Oh,
really?
And not to mention
because
the fact
that it was actually like,
and it's getting a third season.
What?
Oh my, yeah.
Dude,
it was popular enough.
We waited 10 years. Bleach fans waited for 10 years, and you're getting what's a godly product, to say the least. Double Part-Timer fans waited 10 years, and they got
bullshit.
A scrap heap.
They got bullshit.
At best.
They got cheese so hard.
They got rotten cheese, rotten tofu, rotten eggs.
So
rotten
did anyone read or see the original source material, or is it actually adapted like that?
I've only read the manga version, but the manga doesn't say much. I don't know. Like, now, frankly, I think my affiliation with the series in general is kind of fallen off because it is kind of outdated. It's kind of like those ideas that probably didn't last with time. But even then, this is still probably one of the most disappointing things from this year, which says a lot considering like how a lot of people were initially elated about it getting a second season, and then the designs came with the trailer, and just like everyone's just like, uh-oh. I was gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I tried. Like, it didn't look bad at first, but after those first few episodes, it just didn't sit well with me anymore. That's
kinda,
I agree.
Yeah, I think like Deja said it earlier. It's like at the beginning, it wasn't what I remembered from the first season, at least in terms of my enjoyment. Like, but still, I was at a point where it was like, okay, this is like all right enough for me to continue still. But then like it just started dragging. It started, I don't know, it just went downhill after probably like episode 4 or 5 or something like that. Somewhere around that range. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like, I just think the content maybe here isn't just as like nearly as strong, at least as I remember. But even like the comedy, I remember when I watched the first season, there were many times where I'd be laughing my ass off, and I found myself like barely ever laughing in the second season.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's like now that we're more aware of like how the industry kind of works, the staff is way different. It's not the same sort of ones that gave the first season its distinct appeal that made it really fun, as whether you think it's good or bad or whatever. It's still at least engaging. At least it's just like, even if the old series, the older one, the first season was like, it wasn't anything crazy or anything, it still meant something because of the staff at the time. But that staff is to me, at the very least, is, I wouldn't say they were long gone, but they're everywhere. They're doing their own thing.
I mean, it's
I
been 10
think
years.
like I love the designs for season 1, and I think the character designer was working on like Bisco's Sabukui Bisco or something like that.
Oh yeah, I heard about
So
that.
that's
why Bisco did turn out alright in terms of the designs.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the designs for the new season are bad on its own, but like when you compare it to season 1, I feel like it maybe a lot of people aren't looking at it that way, but I feel like the character designs do play a big part, especially like in a more comedic series in just how like certain like things
the designs they have here, and I guess
they're not on the same level. I'll just say that
they're more for like those blender level slice of life stuff, and that's not even really that.
Yeah, it does feel a lot more slice of lifey.
Yeah,
I do definitely like. I've seen the visuals, and yeah, I definitely recommend or prefer the season 1 visuals.
Which I feel like there was a lot more slice of life in this season.
Yeah, I think season 1 was more slice of life as well, wasn't it? But I don't think it was like.
But it was more engaging.
It was good balance.
Yeah, it was more engaging. I felt like there was more like, I don't know, the conflict. Like I don't even know if you can call it conflict, but like what we had in this season, I don't know. I couldn't really get into it at all like that. So.
Yeah,
it honestly had me questioning. I was like, was it just because maybe this anime was one of my first anime I ever watched that like maybe I don't feel the same way I do about it anymore or something like that because it's been so long. And then I like really just thought, I was like, no, that's not what it is. I just really think that this season is just not good.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I still love the first season. Just going back and watching some certain things from it, like there's a lot to. Now this series isn't like a masterpiece to me or anything like that, but I don't know. This second season is certainly a downgrade from the first season, to say the least.
Oh, jeez, this is troublesome. This is troublesome. I just found this out. The director did Isekai Cheat Magician, which isn't good.
Well, that might explain a few things, actually.
Oh Lord! And that's the only other thing he's had a main directing role for. So yeah,
that might explain a few things. Oh no!
He's had some episode, specific episode directing for a few other shows, but those are just specific episodes. Yeah.
I think there is potential for the sequel though, because it seems like it's going to be more serious. I feel like there's going to be more conflict in the next season, but
I don't know. I mean,
but how many people are going to watch this?
It might be slightly more interesting.
At this point,
but
I feel like a lot of people.
Who's really going to give it a try?
I mean, that's at this point. It's the same thing with a Shield Hero. It's the same situation where second season rubbed enough people off the wrong way where people might just not care about third season.
That is true. But that's a very good comparison, actually.
Yeah, but at least with Shield Hero, like it's not like people didn't wait 9 years for a sequel.
That's true. They only went like 4 or 5.
That's what makes this show so fucking. That's what makes season 2 so fucking disappointing.
No, Shield Hero season 2 was a different level of bad. This one is just like, why did we get this after waiting a decade?
Like we could have just went without it.
I know, and of course, like also I need to bring up I did this with the last podcast. I'll bring it up again. The animation quality. I said this during the last podcast that it was basically like the animation in season 2. It's like a considerable downgrade compared to season 1, especially when you watch episode 4, a complete visual disaster. What the fuck happened with the animation department?
Actually, curious to look at that up now.
I just feel like, I just feel like everything.
It's
I think it's everything about the production.
I'm looking at the 4 whole posts somehow on Sakugaburo as to the season, that was considered good animation there, and they're not even looking clean. There was one. I think it was there was like one, but that actually looks good, but that's only like 2 fucking seconds, 2 fucking seconds, and then the other one is just like okay, but that one is just not that great. And then I take a look at season 1. There's a lot more, and there's one that looks especially good. I think there was this. It was a direct. I think it was an animator was involved in Fate series actually, which is kind of crazy. So that speaks to why season one was a lot better in terms of not just the animation quality, but the direction. There's almost no quality direction, art and animation direction at all with season 2. It's almost just there's no life to. There's really no life to it. I just really think it's just poor planning. Just no. There's no like priorities on getting enough resources to make it decent enough.
Yeah, and the thing is that this is not like if this season 2 was done by like some small animation studio who's made this their first project, I think that'd be a little bit more understandable. But this is Studio 3HZ. We've seen them do good-looking products in the future. We've seen it with Princess Principal. We've seen it with Sword Art Online, Gun Gal Online, Flip Flappers. Exactly. They've done multiple good-looking shows.
Dimension W, actually.
Yeah, that too. So there.
Oh yeah, and Healer Girl. I mean, it does actually have nice looking animation. Like it was actually Sakura Pro the Sakura community just praised the hell out of that show, even though it wasn't. I don't think it was that good. But
it may be a case of like, because I'm pretty sure Katakawa's like one of the producers on here.
I did not take this into
yeah. So Katakawa lately, they just literally just pumping out like. They're definitely not going with the quality
per year.
Yeah, they're not going with the quality over quantity. They're going with quantity over quality. So they're just they're grabbing whatever they can and just giving it the like least effort possible, or like the least I guess resources, not effort, but least like resources possible, just to pump them out. So
yeah, I was looking up the discussion of that episode 4, and I saw some of the screenshots, and Jesus bloody hell.
Yes.
Apparently, it was discussed that episode was outsourced to 3 different studios.
And so, it still looked like that.
Wait.
Well, I mean, 3 different studios working on the same thing.
Wait. Outsourced to 3 different studios?
Apparently, that's what they were saying. It was discussed that it was heavily outsourced to 3 different studios for a single episode.
That explains why it looks so goddamn awful.
Yeah, if you think those screenshots are bad, just imagine watching 23 minutes of that.
Oh yeah, the discussion is Jesus, I can't even watch this. That's like the top comment.
It's just, it was a disaster. I really just hope less of this nonsense happens. Like it should have never happened in the first place. That's the thing.
Like I just wish studios would realize that, hey, if we're going to bring back a big...
No, not just studios, the committees, like,
well, yeah. I mean, people who would greenlight any big and well-anticipated show, either it's a sequel or an adaptation, they should realize that if they have such a huge backing towards it in the original series, they should at least just try to honor it. But it seems like they're doing quantity over quality nowadays, which is a shame for a lot more...
Katakawa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and... God forbid, we're just going to say get copyright strike just for saying their name.
Right.
Oh Lord.
Wouldn't be surprised.
All right, then we'd have to. Then
I might need to censor that word in the podcast.
Jeez.
Can we just get this off our backs right now?
But yeah, overall, Devil is a part-timer. It's a huge fucking disappointment. I think the only good things about season 2 is that I do think some of the comedy is still there, at least in my opinion. And Alice Ramos is really cute. But yeah, other than that,
adorable.
Yeah, she's adorable.
But yeah, other than that, season 2, season 3, I don't even know if I want to touch that.
Did they say if it's gonna? I know they said it's gonna be a sequel. Do we know if it's gonna be a seson 3 or like a movie?
It's a season 3.
We not really know yet. Okay.
Oh, I thought it would be a spinoff.
Yeah, the announcement for it was kind of confusing. Like, it was very vague.
It was so vague. Is Zoku? Zoku is final, right?
I know they said it's a sequel to season 2. I don't know if they said it's probably
just season 3.
It'll probably be a season 3, yeah. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it's like a movie or something with the movie trend.
Or maybe like an OVA.
I bet the movie's still gonna look dog shit. That's what...
If it's a movie, I hope they don't release it in theaters because they're gonna lose fucking money.
No, they're not just gonna lose money. They're just gonna lose their audience.
Exactly.
Whatever the fucking empty seats.
You're just gonna see
all over
empty
the fucking
theaters.
place. No one's gonna watch that shit.
I won't be there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so are we ready to move on to a show that's actually good?
Yeah.
Call
Yeah.
Call of the Night, which for those of you who watch my top 10, you know that I put this in my top 3, number 3 exactly. I think out of all the vampire anime I've watched so far, this has to be my favorite.
Yeah, I would say it's better than Vanadis because even when the Vanadis
I would
manga.
have to agree, yeah.
The thing is, like with Vanadis, it looked great. Like it did have its good moments. Like it does have some good, but how it was adapting stuff and how it was utilizing, and how it was kind of going about the story at the time just kind of lost me. And like I don't know my feelings with the manga either at this point, even though I will say just prefer to reading the manga than the anime because of course anime cut out too much content. But with Yofukashi, I wouldn't say it's a perfect proof, a foolproof adaptation. I mean, I've heard people talking about some stuff what did get missed, but the direction, thanks to the director Monogatari, man, that was great. Now, it did feel a little, kind of mid-ground in the second half, in the first half. But the second half, when stuff starts to get interesting, when they introduce more of the other vampires, things start getting interesting. Themes started getting brought up, and the whole thing, Cole has to face some sort of adversity, knowing that he just kind of got himself into a position that he never really thought he was going to be in. And so yeah, I think it's one of the best from summer, if anything, which kind of says a lot. And probably one of the better shows from this year, in my opinion.
From this year so far, I would agree with for sure. I would agree with Kawaii too. I would say this is probably like, if we're not counting like JoJo or like Monogatari, but those aren't like straight up like traditional like vampire series, I would say. So I would say just like a straight up vampire series, I would say Call of the Night is probably my favorite for sure from what we've had, which I know there's still like other vampire stuff I haven't watched, but yeah, I really liked it. I mean, the music is phenomenal too. The music all around.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I just love how
wasn't the anime made, or like the manga? Wasn't the manga made like based around like the group that sings the song?
Yeah, it's based on "Call the Night" by Creepy Nut. Yeah, it's based on a song, the exact same song used in the ED.
That is sweet.
Yeah,
that's like
dope.
awesome.
That's actually really cool.
When do you hear of like shit like that?
Yeah, when do you hear about stuff like that?
Most latest
Boy,
thing
Bebop,
ever.
that's the only one that comes to mind for me, where it's based off the music.
Yeah, and
Like,
then
it literally
and the
kicks
music
off
is
and
good.
it literally kicks off and says Yofukashi no Uta, and like
That's dope.
So
That's
that's
actually really
nuts.
cool. That's
and I love how the same band also sings the opening too. So that's great.
And then there's even some insert songs from them, I think, too, which are like really good.
Oh yeah, I did hear some. I didn't know it was from them though. I wasn't familiar with Creepy Nuts.
I think so. I could be wrong, but I thought the songs are from them. But
hold on, let me see.
Yeah, like
inserted song performance. I'm looking at Creepy Nuts, so it means like there was some.
They had a couple songs in here, even besides like the OP and ED. I feel like.
Okay, yeah.
But
yeah, it's pretty much.
The production, the production is like beautiful, man.
Oh yeah,
It's not clean. It's not always clean. I mean, it's not always the best, but they do the background art, especially during the night time. This is one of the best ways in anime. This is one of the best ways that an anime can capture that sense, that atmosphere of being out at night in the city. It's crazy. I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, I could literally.
Yeah, they captured.
I'm not lying. I've watched so much stuff like that. Even like some of the '90s where they had cell animation, where nighttime is just looks kind of crazy when the production looks good. Like like for example, like Card Captor Sakura, or like what else? Like a lot of the Madhouse shows where they kind of depict nighttime in a way, but but for this one, it's just like they have it to where like it's also they also put the details and they show like the sky view. It's pretty crazy how it worked out that well.
It's very nice to look at, for sure. And even like the first episode, like I knew like Itamura was directing this, but even if I like didn't know that, I feel like I would have just like kind of assumed that he was directing.
There was even like that
of a lot of the shots.
Shaft
I was like,
thing.
this is literally Monogatari like Shaft-esque.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like just from the cuts and everything.
And I love old Shaft.
Yeah,
and I love old Shaft. That they're like when they were at their A game, this is the kind of stuff they were doing like regularly. It was just crazy. It's just crazy. I wish the staff right now could get up to that point, but I know they're kind of going through some tough times. But I'd better save that for another discussion.
It seems like because Itamura worked for Shaft and on a lot of Monogatari stuff. It seems like he's more like freelance right now or something. I don't know.
I think he's freelance. I don't think he's employed anywhere right now.
Yeah, because he worked on Vanitas and then Call of the Night.
Yeah, so he's probably just jumping from
around.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add? I don't. Oh yeah, I don't think Ramen watched the show.
I read it.
Oh,
I didn't watch it, but y'all made me want to watch it now.
Oh yeah,
From what I've seen,
really
the visuals. The one that got my attention was the visuals. At how good they made that show look, and I was thoroughly blown away from the trailers and the previews and some episode breakdowns that I saw. I was like, this actually looks really good. I don't know where it ended off in the manga, in the anime, but I know I was a lot farther.
It was. I don't remember too well, but it's just like they ended off just before a really, just before one of the more intense arcs are gonna start. That's where they kind of just ended off.
Oh, that was something I wanted to mention with Ko at the end. Actually, I don't know if I want to go too much into it because
spoilers.
It could be like a spoiler, but yeah, like when Ko jumped off the bridge or whatever, that was like a scene that kind of like I would say it hints at something with him with Ko.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that.
And he just like was just fine.
Yeah,
it's just fine.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah, and then when he was running, and
like anime onlys will just be like, wait, what the hell? And but
it just seemed kind of normal, like because at first I was like, oh, this is just anime being anime, right? Like a character jumps from a bridge and they survive or whatever, like they're fine. But yeah, there's something else. It seems like at least they're hinting at something else going on. Which actually isn't really that surprising because that's kind of the whole like one of the goals or like one of the things of the show. Like it literally is the biggest plot point. So
yeah, which is why I hope season 2 can be plausible. I know it's kind of hard. Like it's actually easier to kind of get up a season 2 of something, you know, as a part like to trying to make a new one because new ones pre-production usually takes longer because you got to get the character, you know, the base character designs in, the base direct, you know, scripts and all. And I felt, and I hope we just don't need to wait too long. At least
if Itamura isn't on the sequel, I don't want it. I gotta have him on.
I will still watch it, but it's just like I don't know how engaged I'll be if he doesn't, if he's not on this, unless a director can come up to par, which I doubt. I mean, that directing is hard to. It's hard to reiterate in it, and when he's not there. But yeah, it's been a great show. I mean, like even the characters are quite fun. Although it's mostly like the new vampire characters, of course. That when they got introduced, and the interactions, you know, start. That's when the things like started getting more interesting. Like, you know, I've mentioned before, you know, Cole has just gotten himself into a really tough situation where because like he can't just back up. I mean, he has the option to back out, but he's not really like sure of it. I mean, he is young. I don't think he's even high school age, and like and the funny thing is, vampires are usually depicted as feral beings and all. The vampires here are just live human-like lives. I mean, some parts are different, some of their aspects are different, but for the most part, they just live and act like normal human beings for the most part, which is kind of funny because like that's the usual. Because they act, if I remember, they touched upon like, how do they like the usual kind of tease that or made fun of the usual stereotypes that they think vampires have, and of course like it's all kind of disproven. And I don't have much else to say. You have anything else to put in?
Yeah, I think I pretty much agree with all you guys with Call of the Night. I mean, it's so good. I mean, the colors, the direction style. Yeah, I love the Monogatari influence with the direction style. Also love the chemistry between Ko and Nazare. And yeah, the vampire characters are all really good. There's a lot of great characters in this series, especially Anko. You guys remember? I think it was like episode 12 when Anko called the police on Ko. Bro, the animation.
That was such a skunk, but like her voice actor nailed it because
Miyuki Sawashiro.
She's a god. Yeah, she's a goddess with this one. Like whenever she's doing a voice acting role, I'm just like, hit me up. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this out.
Yeah, of course the animation that goes with that whole scene as well. It just made
it was that so part with episode 12, like that camera perspective, and then she's just kind of just walking in, and you're just like, wait, whoa! It's like you're literally. It feels like you're literally in the shot. I love those that sort of direction.
Yeah,
because it just immerses you into the whole scene.
Yeah, I think that scene alone just elevated Anko to be like one of my favorite characters in this series so far. I also love they build up on the whole lore behind the vampires too. How they live like normal humans, but they're just different. I mean, but the thing is, like, yeah, they're powerful, they're strong, they live like normal humans, but that gets boring after a while because they're immortal. They cannot die by usual means. So. Yeah. And I like how they build up on that as well. They get bored like humans as well, and that sucks. So yeah, I mean, really, this is just, and of course, the great blood sucking scenes as well. So, but yeah, Call of the Night, really great show. I do want to talk about, you guys know Hatsuka, right? The character Ko was with. Back in the last episode.
Yeah. I think, right?
Yeah. This character giving Astolfo a run for his money already. Yeah. Like, who the fuck thought that he was a boy? Like, okay, spoiler alert. Who the fuck thought sellout reveal coming? Who thought he was a dude?
I didn't see it coming.
What the hell? And the way they treated that character, like the whole interaction between those two.
When I saw that in the manga, I'm like, oh, wait, what?
Ko's reaction to it was hilarious too.
And he just kept looking down as well, like, yeah, like he just kept staring. Jeez. Oh my god, that was a fucking. Of
course, you're not gonna show that shit on screen. Of course they can't.
I remember when I saw this. Yeah, I know one of the first things that popped in my mind was Ramen's video he made on Astolfo a few years back. Bro, when you get to that scene in the anime, you need to make a follow up.
The sad part is I can probably quote that whole video. Oh god, that was the first thing that popped in my head because I was like, "Who is this person?" Because I don't remember. I looked it up. I was like, "Oh,
exactly."
That's a penis.
Like, oh.
I got every time.
I
have trust issues.
It's not gonna stop. This is anime. It's not the first time. Won't be the last.
No.
No. The trap people.
But yeah, other than that, are we ready to move on to our next anime?
Yeah.
Everyone says this
Overlord,
is
right?
Overlord season 4. It's okay, at least in my book. A lot of people say this is like
really?
the best. Yeah, a lot of people say this is like the best season.
Well, okay.
I mean,
first,
it's very highly
the
rated.
last
Is it
episode,
really?
the last episode is the best from the entire series, but
Oh, yeah.
the series as a whole, like I know I'm just don't feel anything with Overlord. It's
I
just
feel
like,
like
I'm just
I don't
like
know.
whatever.
I feel
don't
like I felt the same way about like every season of Overlord. I just feel like there's
Yeah.
no season that is really above the others. They're just all like solid seasons in my opinion. There's been moments in like I feel like each of the seasons where it's like, oh, like this is like, well, for me personally, I'll be like, oh, this was a 10 out of 10 episode or something like that. But then there's like times where I'm not feeling as highly about it. I don't know. I feel like Overlord for me can't consistently put together a season where I can give it like even like a 9 or a 10. I feel like I've gave it every season an 8, pretty much, for Overlord. And I really like it. I do. But it's just, I don't know if it's, because I know this adaptation isn't the best, right? I know it's not perfect. It's like impossible, especially the content. It's just impossible to adapt it all properly. But from what I've heard, they do the best. Like they do the best that probably anyone else like could with the at least handling the material, not in terms of maybe how it looks, but actually like adapting the content. So we do have the movie. There's a movie coming as well, which apparently was like would have been in this season, but they're like rearranging it, so they're gonna like maybe the content works better for a movie or something. I'm not really sure.
I would think so because from what I heard.
I think it's like what 2 or 3 volumes of the light novel they're gonna have for like the movie or something like that. I'm pretty sure. So, but I enjoyed this season. I feel like it was there, especially towards the tail end of the season. I really liked the tail end of the season. The beginning of the season even I liked as well. I feel like where it kind of took a little dip for me was like the stuff with the dwarf kingdom and that nonsense. It took a little dip there. Nothing like too drastic.
I think the last time I was actually just kind of entertained, like, and this was back when I used to really like Overlord, like was with the Sebas segment. I think that one was kind of particularly
like Sebas, Climb, and Brain and all that and that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one where like I felt like I was really enjoying myself there. Now it's just kind of like, oh, whatever. Like honestly, I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I think it's just more like the novelty, the sense of novelty with it. You know, where the protagonist is the bad guy just kind of wore off me. It just kind of just seemed doing just these political maneuvers, and I'm not really big on politics in anime. Gonna let you guys know, like it's not really my thing. Like it can be like as like a supplementary element, but for me it's just like, okay, I'm just not really locked in with this one, and it's kind of a struggle to. I'll admit it's kind of a struggle to get through each one. I mean, I still wanted to see like where at least it goes. I mean, because the very last part, this man just fucking destroys the whole human kingdom, literally.
Exactly.
Fucking sitting on there like the ruins like his throne. Like I was like, where the fuck was all that sort of shit that would get me more interested? The entirety. That was what kind of just has me so frustrated a lot. But I don't want to be too vocal about it because like I know a lot of people just really like Overlord because of how it is with the premise. Even I just can't. It just doesn't lock it in for me. I just hope like with like future seasons it gets more interesting. I don't know where the light novel is in terms of like is there progression or not. Did Ainz find more of his former friends, like his former MMO friends? Like, are there any interesting stuff happen? Like maybe a betrayal or some sorts, or something. That's why I'm still gonna follow it. I want to see how it plays out and when it's all said and done. If I'm still active by the time it does conclude fully.
Yeah, I pretty much I kind of agree with Ryu on the most part with Overlord Season 4 for me. I think it's just, I feel like my opinion since our last podcast on this series, that's pretty much kind of been the same. Well, roughly the same as, I mean, there are some good moments in this series. In fact, I think the last few episodes where Ein starts his whole conquest and path of annihilation, I think that's where really the whole meat of this season is at. I think, but everything else, it just doesn't do it for me. I mean, yeah, there's some good moments before that, but other than that, it just doesn't really do it for me. I mean,
you didn't like the Gundam? You didn't like the Gundam suit, man?
The Gundam was a nice.
The Gundam was good.
The Gundam is a nice little cookie. I will say that.
But and really, Brain versus
Brain
versus
Brain versus you mean Brain versus Brain versus Brain.
Was that even a fight?
Yeah, that's a stretch to call. What do you mean versus? What do you mean versus?
It looks so hype, and then this guy just get clapped.
Yeah, it did look really hype. I mean, I love how they animated it.
Just yeah,
Oh man.
Oh my god! Even the Sebas versus those other
the six heads.
It felt more like a fight, even though it wasn't. Even though it really wasn't. That one felt more like a fight, which is funny enough. And like, even
the fight towards the beginning of the season kind of felt more like a fight with Ainz in the Warrior King. But
that was probably
the only interesting one.
That was probably the
Ainz
best one so far.
He nerfed himself though, so
yeah. But at least we got an actual fight going on with that.
Yeah. Well, true. That is
one of my favorite things about that fight was just Jerkniv's reactions, like throughout the fight, where he's like cheering on the Warrior King because like we the viewer know that he stands no chance, but he's like, "Please win, please," and he just gets absolutely destroyed.
He was kind of shitting himself that whole time.
That's gonna be interesting for the future plot points. I feel like is like him being under like Ainz. What are they, like a sub-state now or something? They said, I think, like under Ainz's kingdom. It's kind of they're setting up for some things, and there's still the freaking what are they called, the slain theocracy and all that nonsense too.
Oh yeah,
those guys, which we didn't even see them after. I don't even think they were meant, or they might have.
They were supposed to be. I'm pretty sure they were supposed to be in the movie.
But that's probably I was gonna say that's probably in the movie content, because I think after that point was where like it would have went into the content that the movie's gonna adapt, which is kind of interesting how they're rearranging it. But maybe it'll work out better. I don't know.
Yeah, those action scenes, like those are good. Those are good. But really, where my main problem with season 4 is, it's during those slower, like heavy dialogue focused scenes. Like that's where I feel
the dwarf. That was the
dwarf the dwarf stuff, exactly. That's where I feel like the whole series just slows down to a crawl. Bro, I remember
I was just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, move.
Bro, do you guys remember where like that one scene where like in that one episode where like it took place like in the church? Like those dudes in the church were like talking, and like it went on for like 8 minutes, and I was like,
no, this was Miosai.
Exactly.
I was like, they still talking? Oh, okay, never mind.
It's literally just 8 minutes of them, like some dudes in a church like planning shit out. Like, okay, I get it. They have to set up the world and the characters and all of that. I understand why some of like those dialogue scenes are probably needed. But it still doesn't change the fact that it's not presented in a very engaging way. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about Overlord Season 4. I mean,
it's even worse. It's even worse than with. I regardless of how you feel about the final season part 2 of Attack on Titan, there was that one episode where they're just talking and it would just go sift through a bunch of trees while the Avenger crew was just talking about about things. Yeah,
the campfire.
Yeah, that, like that's comparable. Though I feel like with Overlord, it's kind of worse in terms of the animation direction. Like at least make it more, actually a little bit worse in a way, because it was still just standing still for the most. Like it doesn't feel like you want to be locked in or anything. And I don't know, like I just don't like it when shows tend to do that. Like they could still do it to where like the dialogue itself is interesting. There's like visual imagery while they're talking, more of that. But no, there's not really so much of that. Like, I just think this, like, if Overlord had, better, I guess, animation directors, I mean, it would have been a lot more, a lot more investment would have been there. But with that one, it's just not there.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much, I might have to agree. But yeah, other than that, any final thoughts on Overlord season 4?
Nah, that's it.
I'll watch it one of these days. One of these days, I'm gonna watch it. It's on my list.
Wait, what did you say, DJ?
Philip should have had a better death. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh man,
one of the real ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, also, I
What's
want to bring up. I feel like Princess Renner takes to, like, she has to be one of the biggest yanderes in anime now. Because good lord,
I think she's the best character in the entire series. Best written.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, selling your whole kingdom out just for one dude—that's just crazy to me. And of course, we got that haunting musical number, like, to accompany that.
I was not expecting I was not expecting her to.
The animation
that took me out for a moment.
I was like, "Wait, what? They're doing this right now?"
Exactly.
That one scene where she's literally dancing, fucking Beauty and the Beast ass looking like, around. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's what we kind of want. We kind of wanted more of that,
And she's singing about standing on top of corpses and stuff like that. I mean, that shit was crazy.
Times.
All right. But yeah. Other than that, are we ready to move on to
actual good second season?
One of Mad Lad's favorite shows this summer season, Classroom of the Elite Season 2. And of course,
actually watched this one.
Yeah, you actually one of the two that Ramen actually watched in the summer season. Yeah, I think for me, this is slightly worse than season 1 for me. Just because, like, mainly because, like, the animation quality, and all that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I don't feel too negatively about season 2. I did find it enjoyable to an extent. What do you guys think?
I personally feel like it had the same agenda that season 1 had, where it was a very slow burn, but once it caught on fire, it was really good. Like, the last few episodes were just jam-packed with stuff. I know I didn't really see much of a problem with the animation quality, but I mean, same thing with first season. It had its moments where it was really good, but for the most part, when it was just day-to-day stuff, it was mediocre quality. So, but in terms of story, it made me hate a lot of characters.
Oh yeah, I can definitely understand that.
Oh yeah, I feel you on that. Totally.
I mean, Ryuen as the antagonist was a great antagonist because I thoroughly hated him the entire of that entire series. Oh yeah, they did a great job of making you just hate this character.
Yeah.
And also of the other girl,
Kikyo?
Kushida, yeah.
Yeah.
Angry Twitter user who got her private account leaked.
Exactly. Damn girl, if you wanted attention so bad, you just.
I was like, wait, that's why you're mad? That's why you have to stick up your asses? It's because you just so. Oh wow, people were mad that you were bad mouthing them. Oh no, I'm just gonna be an asshole the rest of the season. What do you expect was gonna happen?
I forget what she said. It was in the last episode of the second season. I forget what it was, but it made me like start laughing because they just like so quickly like transitioned to her just being like an asshole. I forget what even she said.
Was it in the last episode?
She tried to be as goody. She tried to be as goody fucking two shoes. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, but then I knew she was. I
knew she was a bitch. Season 1.
Wait, was it the
first episode, man?
Was it the scene in the last episode where she was like, "Merry Christmas"?
Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah. That like made me start laughing. I was like,
She's acting so mad because she lost.
She used that 5-second of screen time to be toxic.
Because she found out she was on Santa's naughty list, so that's why she was like, bleh.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
Jeez,
Man, but it makes me curious because now, like, we got to see a little bit more of Aina Koji, and then there's someone else who knows him from his past. It's like, things are starting to get really interesting.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really, because for me personally, even going back to the first season, I have never been really crazy about this series. Like, I wouldn't say it's bad, but I don't know. I don't see, because a lot of people praise it, I just don't really see it yet. And I guess the main reason for that is with Ayano Koji, like with him. So I feel like once they go more into like his past and why he is the way he is, maybe that's when they'll start to give me more. But I don't know. I'm still not really even after this second season. I'm still like kind of in the middle when it comes to this series.
That's fair.
I know they have the same voice actor, but Shine from '86 has a better characterization because it doesn't feel like we have to try so hard to figure out who he is, and he actually has a more interesting sort of progression than Anakoji. I think the problem with Anakoji is something with an issue I have from what I read in the first few volumes, and is that they cut off almost all of his inner dialogue, which is really important because much of the stuff that goes on in Lino, from what I was told, is happening through inner dialogue, the character's monologue, not just Anakoji's, even Case from what I've heard, and Horita's from what Suzune's from what I've heard. And so when you cut those out because of how centric they are, because like everyone's got this sort of weird, convoluted. Literally every notable character has some sort of weird underlying agenda that is just so hard to fit. It's just really so hard to comprehend without hearing the inner dialogue. When the anime cuts that out, it's harder to really get behind them with it.
I mean, as someone who's never read the original light novel or whatever it was, there's only a couple instances where I have that issue, and it's not even with the main characters. I think the anime itself explained enough of their motives. Like, we know why Ryuan's is a dick. We know why Kyo is Kushida is a dick, or and why Kei is the way she is, and I can't really speak on why Ayano Koji is just a mute. We don't know.
He's a robot.
He is a robot. I mean, like you can't really compare him to Shin.
That's what I've joked about. I've joked about that since like season 1. I'm like, dude, show 1 ounce of emotion, please. Like, it could be just with what his character is or something, but they kind of made like it wasn't like they weren't intending to make a joke, but I forget who was it, Rian? I don't know if it was him or if it was someone else, but they told him like something about like showing emotion. Or it was
Rian.
Yeah, he was like telling him to show some emotion, and he's like, "You're not worth
showing
emotion for." Yeah, right. I was like, wait, so nothing that we've had in this series so far has been worth him showing any emotion. So I guess maybe he can show emotion. Nothing is.
Yeah, so
worth it for him.
I think
emotion.
I will agree though that I can see his character being more grating for a lot of people, and I will admit that if they continue on and on, where he's just like, I'm in this empty shell, I have no feelings, love.
That's
what
I'm
is
hopeful.
this? Yeah. I want to know more. But if you continue to pad out where we don't know what it is, it's all a mystery. I can see it being like a lot of people losing interest, but. I'm hoping with this next season, because it already got announced, that we'll get something. And that's what
I'm in the same boat. That's where I think maybe like the series could start to grab me more with his character. Like, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think the show is the greatest of all time. I think it is a very solid show. It's a great watch. Is it anything to write home about? No, not really. I think it's very solid. It's a solid show. You don't need to look super in depth about the main character, and it's actually more of like him just working in the backgrounds while you get to see everyone else, all the characters.
Well,
so that's kind of
perspective.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I see what the point of the story is. But yeah. I think it is a solid show. I don't think it's worth people saying that it's horrible because it goes differently than the light novel, but I mean, there's not many adaptations that follow a light novel to a T.
Right. It's like pretty much impossible for the most part.
And especially with inner dialogue. Otherwise, it's just going to be super dialogue heavy, and we've seen what happens when that's.
I'm not saying just a bunch of inner dialogue ones, like just the key ones, like the ones that have to stick out, more. You know, the ones that like are really important to characterizing that the one saying it, in one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, I do see why a lot of people who were part of the original who read it, they can see I can see why they disliked a lot of how they characterized some of the characters. But at least from an anime only, they did a good enough job where you're not really questioning unless you weren't really paying attention to why people have their thoughts or why their ambitions are the way they are. Like, you get a good enough grasp.
It's not like I don't understand, honestly. It's just more like I'm
you want to see
I'm
more.
just personally not in agreement with how their agenda is, and considering the settings they're in. It's just something I just don't agree with, honestly.
Oh, I agree. They're like the whole bullying arc. I'm like, okay, but why are you like this? Why are you four girls just horrible people? Like, I want that was one thing that I really just like. I was like,
I felt that was unnecessary because that just puts Kay. Puts Kay in a really bad light, even if she does improve later on. It just makes it look. It just makes it look pathetic, even if she does improve. It just puts it in a really horrible light to her. Like, and she can't improve. In the last episode, she does show. In the last few episodes, she has shown signs of improve. Like the last episode, and you do see there's something. There's a light in the tunnel for her.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just a bad position.
Yeah. But what were we saying, Mary?
Shit. I was gonna say like.
Sorry.
It just reached a point for me. No, it's all right. It just reached a point for me. I was like, damn, is the only way they could try to like do characterization for Kay is like through bullying.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty much bullied the whole season. And I'm just like, there's other ways to do like plot elements or like characterization than bullying someone. Which I guess
bullying is such a tender topic for me, which is why like most of the time it just rubs me the wrong way. I think there's only like that one particular show where it actually worked out, and I was a silent voice. I felt like that was handled pretty well. Not complex as hell, but
it's not like a silent voice that was like the whole movie was her getting bullied. Like the whole season, Kay's getting bullied. I'm just like, geez, like do something else with her character.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Also, which I guess bullying could be like. I mean, it's an effect. It'll definitely, I guess, get your attention because you're gonna like it'll get a reaction out of people for sure.
Like I don't mind it as long as it's believable. Again, like some of the bullying was just like so over the top. I was like, it's hard for me.
That's what bothers me. That's what bothers me when it gets more
or water on her head.
When it gets impractical, like you're just like, okay, you're just forcing this issue here just to force it down. It's like, what the hell?
That is my biggest gripe with it was the whole bullying side. I was like, okay, we don't need to see her being tormented this entire time. We get it. She's miserable.
Like, bro, they were bullying her like she was like a war criminal or like
exactly. Right.
They were bullying her like she was on death row.
Like, jeez.
Like, bullying her like she stole her lunch money or something. Like, good lord.
Like the shit with the girls, at least, was more like, it wasn't as over the top, because...
I feel like it was over the top, though. I feel like it was pretty over the top to an extent, because you have this one girl... You have this one girl slapping her.
Not as over the top as, like, the shit with Ryuen, I feel like, at least.
Ryuen would just being a dick just because he wanted to find the culprit at the master
freezing room and pour water on her head.
Ryuen needs to. I swear, someone's always pissing that man's cornflakes every fucking morning. I swear. Swear to God.
And now they're gonna try and redeem him. They're gonna try and redeem his character. It looks like.
I mean,
my other biggest gripe.
And all of a sudden, he's just like, "Oh, we're past Anakoji. Good. Good."
I mean,
yeah, he don't care. He don't care. He don't care as long as he can use someone.
Oh yeah,
use them as a piece, potentially. So.
Use them as tools.
Yeah.
But my other biggest gripe is no high schooler in history looks as fit as he does and that good looking. I'm like,
bro,
damn,
that's already. Bro,
I mean, look at Albert. Albert looks like he's damn near 30, and
he registered a fake age.
That's people have been bringing this up since season 1, and it's not gonna change.
Every time I'm just like, Albert, did he really get held back?
No, he's really 30. He just registered with a fake age. That's what really happened.
He did the same thing as
sunglasses.
He's basically in the same league as Billy from Spy X Family. That fucking
literally came out of JoJo.
6-year-old that looks like a 37-year-old.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Wait, another thing I was
just
wondering
around be like, Daddy Ryu. Oh God, no, no. Oh
no, bro.
All over again.
I can hear
another
the
thing I was wondering about though was, did they ever mention or like I don't know if we saw like Ayano Koji, like we saw him like beat the shit out of Rhea, and like did they ever bring that up where he like had those that kind of like training
skills? Yeah, first
like,
season
skills. Oh, they did.
Yeah, they did.
I did not even remember that. I was like, wait, what? This kind of came out.
Well, I think I remember he had a fight with
we seen him get
Suzune's brother.
Yeah, and even it was like this guy's trained. Like he
okay.
When he was fighting with
but it was like that one little moment. It's like, oh, he's trained. That's about it.
I did not even remember that.
Yeah, because I remember some people were bringing that up, like, so why is he just random with this badass? And everyone's like, well, this is why. But
he kind of reminds me, now that I really think about it, Ayano Koji kind of reminds me of what's his name, in a way, from Mahoka, Tatsuya. He kind of reminds me of him in a way. I don't know if that's just me, but
he kind of does. Yeah, he does. Tatsuya
I can understand that.
Barely speaks too much. Kind of feels aloof in one way or another.
But then he has like this dark past. He's like actually OP as shit.
Yeah. All right. I think that's enough of this.
I mean, but yeah, final thoughts. Overall, Classroom of the Elite Season 2.
Solid.
It's like, it's solid. It's solid. I wouldn't call this better than Season 1, but I did still, it was still like enjoyable for me to an extent. And I gotta bring this up. I think for those of you who know me, you know I gotta bring this up. Suzune, still best girl, and Kei, despite what the fan base says, is inferior to her, and a certain mad lad isn't here to defend that. So,
amen. I just by default prefer Suzune. I felt like I'm gonna say this again.
Best girl.
Yeah, I felt like
Suzune's dynamics with Ayano Koji. I felt like those clicked more for me than with Kei. Like Kei, it just felt like I just don't like it. Just use it as a tool. Even if they do develop feelings,
I don't like the way they go about her character.
I just don't. Like even if it does develop, it's just like, oh, okay.
In terms of like, well, I mean, we all know that like the anime studio, I believe it was the director, had a much bigger liking towards Suzune.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
Because she plays a bigger role than actually, like, because a lot of the other characters, and not just the girls, but other side characters play a big role as well. Not just Suzune, but they put more emphasis on her. But I would still agree. In terms of like who had better development and who works better, Suzune, but I think that's just due to the fact that we're still learning more about Kei and we're going to. So maybe third season might change it, but in terms of the students, Suzune's best girl, but I mean, we all know that Sensei's best girl overall.
Yeah, I'll take the Sensei. Take the Sensei.
The Sensei. Oh, you know what? The Sensei is pretty cool. I'll give it that.
Oh yeah. I mean, shit. At least with Suzune, we've seen her get some development during this season. We've seen her do things on her own, like accomplish good shit on her own. And
Yeah,
we
that
saw
was
in
my
episode
biggest
9.
gripe about her too.
Kei, on the other hand, is entirely dependent on Ayana Kuji. She literally can't do. She hasn't been doing shit so far without Ayana Kuji's help. It's crazy, and it's crazy that people are putting her on such a high pedestal.
And even when
so
she
far.
does try doing stuff on her own, it's more based around it's just more in defense for Ayano Koji. So
I mean, I think the main reason why is because she
always
admits that she has feelings, or she's starting to have feelings for him. I think that's why. That's probably the reason. Oh, she's great because she has feelings. And so did that other girl. And look what happened to her. She got that poor girl.
Yeah, Sato. Sato's a great character.
Sato. I don't know you, but you deserve that.
Yeah, she deserves better.
Hopefully she gets with the robot. You know, have fun with the robot.
Yeah.
He runs really fast.
I don't know who'd want to be in a relationship with a robot, but.
Yeah, she deserves better, man. I honestly think that like the interaction
she'd have a better chance. She'd have a better chance, dating the one
robot
dating the character from iRobot. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Sato. I feel like she's like the interactions between her and Anakuji were like before she got rejected. I thought they were really wholesome. I thought they were like really adorable.
Yeah.
Like the.
Yeah, it was.
We knew it wasn't going to work because Ayano Koji
it wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work.
He has the personality of a bag of rocks, but I mean,
he has the emotions of a bag of rocks as well. I mean, he has the same face for all different types of emotions. It's crazy.
I'm happy.
At least outwardly.
No one's happy. There's been no situation or no one's been worth his emotion. So
yeah, true. He's yet to meet one.
I don't know what kind of excuse that is or reasoning, but that's what it is. So what can we do about it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, girls like mysterious guys.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, I also do want to give a shout out to Hiyori. I mean, the girl voiced by Rie Takahashi. She was only around for 2 scenes, but I must say she was really adorable, and I can't wait. I'm definitely interested in seeing more of her in the if we do see more of her in the 3rd season. And
her.
Look
it up really quickly.
Yeah, but yeah,
book girl.
Wait,
oh yeah.
Oh, book girl. Yeah, book girl.
Yeah, book girl.
Also, I wish we got. I brought this up. I think I brought this up last podcast as well. But I kind of wish we got more of Sakura in this season as well. I mean, because she got a good amount of screen time back in season 1, but in season 2, she's been only been in, like 2 episodes. She's only got like a handful of screen time. Yeah. She's pretty much been relegated to like a background character. It's kind of it kind of sucks.
I wish if they roll with the kind of stuff that like the characters presented at the time, be getting more significant, or like even with the light novel. I don't know how that goes, but how that goes all the way. Like again, I've only read like maybe 3 or 4 volumes. I'm only like 3 or 4 volumes in. I don't know the whole thing, but I'm just not so sure how they're gonna. I think one of the other big issues I have is that I don't know what they're gonna do. If you're gonna just have these characters just come up, then sit in the back, come up, sit in the back. Like I'm not so sure who I'm supposed to be caring for at all. Besides Ayano Koji, it just has me so mixed at best. And I mean, we'll just see what happens with season 3.
Yeah, I mean, Classroom of the Elite season 2, definitely enjoyed that. I mean, despite my differing opinions about Kei, I think she's a likable character in her own right. I think she's a good addition to the cast.
Yeah, I can understand why. I can understand to a degree why people, a lot of fans, are on there. I mean, it is kind of over the top in terms of the support, but I can understand why if she does. I mean, like she's not at the point where she obviously she's not at the point where she's done something to be best character. But I know I can see her progressing at some point. I just don't know how.
Yeah. And I still think it sucks. Like they just cut out like a lot of quite a bit of Suzune's like thoughts and like dialogue. But you know what? It is what it is. I mean, like we said, you can't adapt like everything from like the source material and everything, especially when it comes to these light novel adaptations. But yeah. Wait, Memory? Is it Memory okay?
He said it'll be right back. He said it'll be right back.
Make your calls.
Okay. Well, I guess it's a good thing that he left because now we move on to our next anime and
Oh God, no.
oh God.
No.
Please, can we skip
No.
this?
Like-
do you want to skip this?
No.
I barely watched this show and I don't even remember ish from it.
You're back in the KMS myself.
Oh.
What is it?
God.
What is this top? Oh, I'm not even gonna read the top review. No, I'm not gonna look at it.
Oh
No.
my God, what did
the
they
top
say?
review?
Recommended.
Chihara
5 out of 10.
so hot.
5 out of 10.
I don't know, fucking whatever her name is, Chihuahua, fucking her.
Chihuahua. Oh man.
Okay, that's the dude. That's your dude.
I'm gonna call it that from now on. I call her Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. Oddly, very fitting.
I added her name, Chizuhara Chihuahua. I don't fucking know.
Chihayafuru, cinnamon roll, whatever.
The only cinnamon roll is mommy. Thank you very. I can't even. Anything about this show. It just went. Mm-mm.
Oh lord.
Mommy is the only character I care about now, so
Sumi
Just
just.
to piss off
Sumi
all
doesn't
the
belong.
movies
Sumi doesn't
that is
belong
gonna-
there.
Chihuahua's worst, and fucking that girl who doesn't have a heart, Rukia. No, not Rukia. That's what I'm thinking of Bleach. God damn it. No,
Ruka.
that's an R. She has short black hair. It's close enough, right? No,
I don't read Bleach, so I unfortunately don't get that reference.
Can we just agree that Sumi just doesn't belong in this fucking series? She doesn't deserve to be there. She deserves better.
hey, I think
Not
she has her own side story, so at least she gets that.
That's not enough.
Okay, so she did get to shine, thank God, because like,
I don't know, but apparently people liked it. They're like, "Oh wow, she actually has justice done to her." So I'm assuming.
okay, good,
I didn't read it because anything tied to rental girlfriend wants me to.
Did you read the like? Where did you stop? I don't remember. Like, are you still up to date or anymore?
I read up because I read the one chapter that got like 50 awards, and it was the one where he's having a fantasy of Chihuahua and NTR. So I had to figure out how this happened. Yep, this is trash. Still trash.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spoil. Well, I mean, I kind of spoiled it, but I'm not gonna explain like how this all came to be. But I mean, if you're still watching it, why? But why?
Because I like to hurt myself.
Many things to watch.
That's what
you
happened.
can watch good things. Heck, I would even say, Devil is a part timer. No, actually, I would even say, oh my gosh, what's that one sequel that no one liked? First season was so good.
Shield Hero?
Oh, Promised Neverland season 2 was better than this show, and that's it.
Oh, we're talking about Abyss Fiction.
We're talking about Abyss Fiction.
We're talking
about Abyss Fiction. Hey, okay, y'all. Unless if your lowest score rating is a 5, if you gave this a 5 or higher, the fuck is wrong with you? Don't give me this crap about. Oh, it's good because it's bad. No, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. How?
I would say this show is for masochists, but that's an insult to BDSM. I mean, it's
somebody gave it an
unreal.
8.
Wait, who did that?
Like,
Wait, please.
Don't tell them out.
An
Don't
8.
tell them out.
Wait, that's so hot.
You're looking at Mount, right? You're looking at Mount, right? Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh lord! And
You want to know why? They probably saw some
Somebody gave
anti-doujin
it a
of one
9.
of their
Oh
favorite
my
characters, and was like, "Yes, this is peak." That's on.
Oh my god!
I'm not gonna sit here and act like the girls in this series are any good, but I feel bad for them in a way.
Yes,
they have to be in the same series as the
oh
male
no!
main
I have to pull up this review. What the fuck is this?
Is this the 8 review?
This is the okay. Well, this is the same guy that has a top negative review on one of the other series that we are going to also look over. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna share it in the fucking chat right here. First of all, this is a lot of shade. Look at the
Why am I here?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I don't know what these people are thinking, man. I don't. Let's not mention the guy's name, but just like, Jesus, man.
They're trolling.
Oh my
no,
god!
it's not even they're not even trolling.
He wrote a full page.
Jesus Christ! I don't even want to. I read through the whole thing with this. I'm not gonna say who. Let's not say who he is. I read the whole thing and I'm just like, are you using
He really
more than
just
two
said,
brain cells, buddy?
He really
I
just
hope you're
said
trolling.
Kaguya-sama what? Sonobisk yuck. Sho Shikamori.
Okay,
Komi
hold on.
who. Oh,
Credit where credit's due. Kaguya-sama what? That's fucking hilarious. That's fucking okay. I'll give you that one. That's fucking hilarious. I'm calling this as a troll. I'm calling this as a troll.
There's no
I'm looking
way.
at this.
Oh my god!
There's
I
no
want to
way.
say
I
it's a troll.
hope so.
The fact that we live in the internet age that anyone with a brain cell can have their own opinion. So I don't know. I want to say it's a troll.
I do. I want to as well, but his other reviews might say otherwise.
He said it because he is a well-written character.
But to be fair, most of the guys' reviews, again, we're not gonna say who he is. Most of the guys' reviews, I feel like he's just like either just all satire, or he's just that, nuts and bolts in the head.
I mean, if someone writes that Kazuya is a well-written character, I already have to question your sanity. Were you dropped on your head as a baby multiple times for you to think
Blink
that?
twice if you need
That's
help.
the only thing I can think that would make sense if you actually thought that. Like, Kazuya is a well-written character. Says who? Sociopaths?
I don't think we're watching the same thing.
That's crazy.
If you're saying this, we're probably watching a different show, my guy.
Yeah.
We were watching Rent a Girlfriend.
Maybe
you were watching something that had the title Rent a Girlfriend, but it was a really
I don't know.
something else.
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah.
Bro legit looked at the NTR scene. And it was like, oh, this is peak fiction. This is cinema right here. This is quality writing.
His throbbing boner for the scene, it represents his love for Chihuahua.
Oh man, I'm super sorry, man. Like this is something else. I can't. This is
I will never not shit on the show because it's too much entertainment. I'm having too much entertainment with it. I will give it that.
We all are.
It's a dumpster fire
it's
that it will constantly give you stuff to talk about. And it is fun to shit talk it because there's so much shit talking about.
And you know what the funny thing is? The deets and stuff in the manga, that's good. That's been overdone. That is like been undone. Like in a heartbeat. That's the worst part, because it was there. It was a moment. It could have been decent to a degree, and it fucked up. I honestly thought when I first read it, after 70 chapters, I was like, you know what, this actually has a promise. It actually could be good. Fast forward 100 episodes or chapters, and nothing happened, and nothing happened, and nothing happened.
And the MC never changed. Nice.
How old is this man again?
Isn't he college age?
Yeah, he's college.
He's college age.
This motherfucker's not even a toddler as not even the elementary school acts like as child as he does. What the?
That's an insult to elementary schoolers. Come on.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to. I'm just highball. I'm just lowballing at this point.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Man.
Any final thoughts on Abyss Fiction, or are we ready to move on to?
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Get me out of here.
Yes.
I've said my piece. I think.
Yeah, I think we've said our piece.
Oh man.
Right,
okay, you guys can take over for this one.
Let's move on to, in my opinion, anime of the season.
Everyone says that, and I haven't even seen the first season. I agree.
Made in Abyss, Golden City of the Scorching Sun. Oh my god. It leagues better than season 1, at least in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Huh? I don't know about that.
I think so.
I hear different opinions on this one, so that's why I'm actually curious to hear from people who have actually seen it.
Oh man, I don't want to. I don't want to talk because I know it's a universally loved series. I will say that. I don't know if I want to say it's necessarily better than season one. I do feel like at least anime wise, it shifted from more like what it seemed to want to emphasize on the sense of exploration and the unknown and all. Yeah, there's some dark stuff here and there. I know like the manga did apparently cut out some of that stuff from season one. Season two, they left all that shit in. And so yeah, it can be seen as better storytelling in terms of like from an emotional standpoint, like a character standpoint. I don't know if it's necessarily better. It does have its, weird elements that I don't think I emphasize more on it. Like I know people have mixed feelings on it. I don't know if it's necessarily better.
The beginning of this season, I was like, I don't know what it is with the author's obsession for poop and buttholes.
Oh yeah, the
That's why I didn't want to. That's why I don't want to keep just going.
That's just like one of the things.
I don't want to be toxic about it. Like I don't personally don't like the series.
It has a big impact on the series though, because I
it.
feel like that's like one of the things that like really holds Made in Abyss back for me is that like
I mean
it wouldn't be a problem if it was just like here and there, but I feel like it was more so towards the beginning of this season. I feel like, and like even the scene where there's like when Ma and Rico were in like that alley, they tried to make it like some ugly bastard like hentai scene or something where like they were like surrounding them. I was like,
oh
yeah. So I don't know. The author has some very questionable. I know it's not on the staff or anything like that that are working on this. I mean, they're just adapting what is in the source, right? But the author has some very questionable. It's like so weird to me because the author, like even throughout this season, there are some very beautiful moments, in my opinion, in like with the characters and all that. So you have that, but then there's like these other things. I'm just like, is this the same writer? I mean, I think, don't know.
And I don't know if everyone's gonna agree with this. I know, like people like as we go up to him, like, why do you love Mushoku Tensei but not this? They both have degenerate elements. Here's the thing: the uncomfortable elements are there for a purpose in Mushoku Tensei. Like
there's no purpose.
They're kind of needed.
There's no purpose here,
but there's no purpose here with the degeneracy here.
I
That's
mean, even
the problem.
even the scene where I hate to keep bringing it up, but I mean, it is. I feel like it is a factor for me personally on why I don't like. I liked this season still overall, but it's just it's holding it back. Like even the scene with Faputa and Reg, where she like sticks her like. Her claw or whatever into his belly button.
Oh yeah,
that was okay. Like you know what you're trying to do, or
Queen's just like, oh
yeah,
dear,
like you know what you're doing.
Oh man,
I'm just like, why? Why was this necessary?
Oh, it would have been worse.
It's not necessary.
It would have been worse if she stuck it up the,
It's just such. Oh man, it's just such.
Why?
I see stuff like that, and I'm just like, why? I'm like, why? Like, I love this series still overall for the most part, but it's just like it's holding it necessary. Back. It's holding it back.
There was no point. Like, yeah, I get you're probably like curious about what was this. Like, are you someone I recognize? Like, no, you don't. You don't need to do that. You need to go all that.
I mean, good thing there wasn't really much of that throughout after the first couple episodes. I feel like there was like none of that in the rest of the series, at least from what I remember. So, or at least the second season. So I mean, I guess that was because the rest of the season I really I enjoyed. I liked a lot. I mean, I still liked a lot of the elements in the first episode, like with them exploring a little bit of the lair, arriving at the lair, and even how they were doing, like they were going back and forth between the present and the past. I did like how they were doing that. I mean, even like into the second season, they did do like a good job of that, I feel like, and going back and forth. So, I mean, it's still Made in Abyss, like, although they're like, I think Ryu mentioned earlier, it has kind of shifted away from, I guess. Well, I think it was more so because in the first season, they were like moving pretty quickly through the layers. It felt like,
yeah.
Well, this season it was like you're in one of the layers for the whole season. So, it makes sense in a way because I feel like there's more, like as you get deeper into the abyss, there's more packed.
It becomes more dangerous.
Yeah, it's more dangerous, but also it's more packed. There's more packed in there, and actually like the history of it. So
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense in a way, but I did like the new characters. I will say I did like the new cast and how they sort of implemented them, and then also like Faputa, and then which went back to like Vueko and the whole group on where the actual origins of that like came from, like
Yeah,
the
part
princess
with
and all that.
the part with Fabuta and Vuelo, I think that's her name, right? Vuelo,
Vueko, yeah.
Waco, yeah.
Vuelo, Vuelo. Okay, but yeah, I thought it was really trash. Like disturbing elements aside, I thought it was like I didn't feel much on my personal end, but I was just like, damn, that really sucks. That was like, even without disregarding my application, I thought that was a beautifully done sort of thing between those two, and how like it was how the emotional appeal was. I thought that was really good for itself. When Made in the Abyss, is more on the exploration, those beautiful moments. That's when I feel like it shines the most. Now, I don't like the stuff between it, that will lead up to standpoint to those points. But for the most part, it does have those. Maybe it does have those beautiful moments, which I can appreciate, and the soundtrack really helps. Like Kevin
Bacon added
Bacon,
again.
yeah. Like he made this.
Yeah.
He made this.
I mean, the
show what it
production is amazing. The production is.
It's not as
like,
good as
all
season
around.
1, of course, though. In my opinion, like there was a little bit of where it does feel like it falls. Like I remember in season 1, like a lot of stuff felt a lot more fluid, at least in terms of the more, the scenery in the presentation. But
the movie is definitely the best, which I guess makes sense.
But again, like they are deeper, so maybe there's like a different sort of color scheme or atmosphere going for it. Especially when you're considering everything's more and more surreal the deeper you go.
I would say, actually, I don't know. What would you guys say? What would you say is the most like? I mean, what has been like your favorite, like the layer that's been the most like interesting to you? I guess like or most like captivating.
I want to say I'd say the first. I want to say the first few layers. In Made in the Abyss season 1, because I know Made in the Abyss season 1, they focus heavily on the whole world building and like the exploration aspect of the series. So I
feel like that's where they displayed it the best. Yeah. But I would say I would actually probably say that this layer, the layer for this the 6th layer, is probably the most like intriguing to me.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think it has to do with like the actual like history behind it with the like Vueko and Wazukan and all the other characters, like who was here before, and even how they showed like how the abyss was before obviously Rico and Reg have started going down, like the differences in it and whatnot, and like people that were discovering the curse for the first time. So that kind of stuff was like cool to me. I feel like it does kind of play into with the 6 layer stuff. But I would say they didn't really go through, like, yeah, they did show them adventuring through it somewhat, but most of it was inside of the village, most of the plot for the 2nd season. But they did show some of like the beasts and whatnot, but it wasn't really like they didn't like thoroughly go through this layer and look at everything. It was more so just focused on like the village. So. But yeah, I would say for me, I would say I like this season just about as much as the movie, and I feel like the movie for me was a step up from like a little step up from the first season, but for the most part for me with Made in Abyss, it's kind of the same thing with me for Overlord in a way. It's like each insert in the series I felt around the same amount of enjoyment, like season 1, the movie, and season 2. But I would give the movie and season 2 probably a little edge, personally, over season 1 for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it.
All right.
And still another thing, I guess. One more thing I'll add. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, no problem.
It's mostly like one of my. I was talking about this, I think, before like the season started. One of my issues with Made in Abyss always has been Reg and Rico and their characters. I feel like that's another thing that's really holding the series back for me is their kind of development.
Yeah, I'm about to touch upon that too. Yeah. I don't think they're doing a particularly good job in terms of developing the main characters.
That shine the most. The characters that shine the most are the ones that I'm most interested in or to get the best development, in my opinion, are like the side characters. Like this season, even like Voiko and Faputa, them like they came across way more. I don't know, striking to me, and even like Nanachi, of course, and Bondrewd in the movie, they're characters that I'm way more. I feel like they have more going for them, have more stuff going for them, even in comparison to the main characters. So I don't know if this is ever even we're this far in, so I don't know if it's gonna reach a point. Maybe when we get even deeper, where we start to see it pick up with their characters, but that's still even after this season kind of stands with me. Just Reg and so it's like the thing I mentioned earlier with the author's like very questionable just I guess taste or whatever you'd want to say. It's that and then Reg and Rico's characters. Those are like the biggest things for me that are kind of like holding the series back. It's crazy to say that I still enjoy this series as much as I do even with that. Because I feel like that's a pretty important thing is like you got to be into them. Like I do like their characters, but they're like I feel like for the main characters they should have a whole lot more going for them, and they kind of don't, in my opinion, at least. So yeah.
Well, here's the way I see it. So with season with season 1, it's kind of season 1 was like the setup season. Because that's where we set up like what Way in the Abyss will be known for later on, which is, we get the world building aspects, we get the establishment of the Abyss, and then we get the introduction of Rico, Reg, Nanachi, and all of that. And then of course we get introduced to those disturbing moments as well. Movie 3 and season 2, I think that's where this series really kicks off, because that's where we see more of that, not just the world building and those disturbing aspects. We got to see more of those character-driven moments as well, like especially with everyone, like all the other characters we've had during the second season. We've seen Faputa's development. We've seen, her eventual drive to, I guess, protect the Hollows. We see, Voiko and her relationship with Iramui, and we see like a lot of that. We see that a lot of those emotional moments that we've kind of got in season 1, but in movie 3 and in season 2, it was just ramped up. It was just ramped up all the way, and that's just really what I love about season 2. Like I think like this is really where I feel like this is where the meat of this series really is, because this is where we see all the stuff that makes Made in Abyss. And of course, and speaking of the new group, Voiko, Iramui, Razukan, Beloff, they're a great addition to the cast. I think me and a lot of other people, we weren't sure about them, because it's an entirely new group, completely different from our main trio. I wasn't sure about them at first when they were first introduced. I mean, I wasn't sure about, about the series focusing on our main group and then like these group of nobodies at first. But near the end of this season, I think they did a really good job making us care for these group of characters and what exactly they went through during their time in the Abyss. I mean, especially like I said, with Voiko's relationship with Iramui, her guilt of just letting all this shit happen to just such a young child, and how her relationship with everyone else in the group. I thought that was just really, really good. And of course, I gotta give props to Misaki Kuno's performance as Faputa and Iramui.
Oh yeah,
I mean, because
that's respectful.
Yeah, we've already, because I think a lot of people
got emotional talking about it.
Yeah, she got emotional. In fact, she lost her voice while voicing Faputa as well.
Yeah.
And when you watch the second season, it's not hard to see how that could happen.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
She did a really good job. For sure.
She did a really
I didn't like
job.
Faputa as a character, but damn, that voice actor just killed it. I have to respect that. I absolutely have to. That voice acting when Fabuto was in range, was crying and all, like I
You gotta
had
give
to.
props to
I
her.
had to give props to where it's due. I really do.
Hey, that was really good. And I do want to bring up, like, yes, I understand where you guys are coming from with the more like the weirder and disturbing moments of the series, and I agree. I'm not sure if all those Rico number 2 scenes were necessary either. But I mean, it is what it is. This is made in the abyss we're talking about. I mean, yeah, I can understand why people might think it might go overboard at times.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end
I
of
mean,
the day,
I don't care about some blood and some violence
Yeah.
and some gore and like I don't care about stuff like that, but it's just I don't know, especially with how young the characters are. It's like, come on. Like you know what you're doing. That's where like I don't care about like if people's like limbs are getting cut off and cuz like what we saw at the end of season 1 with like Rico and like what happened with her and the curse. Like that was like fine, right? Like that just showed how scary the abyss is. But scenes like this, it's just like there's no purpose. There's no point to
well,
them.
I think there is a purpose to some of them, but yeah, I can kind of understand where you're coming from. Also, I don't know like how I feel. I mean, like Ray, you mentioned like there's no development between like Ray and Rico, right? I'm not sure if I completely agree with that because, like, I mean, yeah, we've seen like part of with this season 2, we've seen part of Reg's past. We know that Faputa, like he was, I guess, wandering the abyss until he met Faputa, and that was pretty much his first companion. Him, like Faputa and Gabu, were pretty much like his first 2 companions, and we see more of him in that regard. And we see more. I mean, I guess, and you know, in this season 2, we see him. It establishes like a better. It establishes his drive to protect Rico and all that. So and then Rico, speaking of which, we've seen her become like more of a white whistle, which is like the one thing that she's been wanting to become this whole series. Like we did see some sort of development towards Rico, I feel like. So I don't know how I feel like about them like not like getting too much development, but
I guess in comparison to like we saw more. We definitely have saw a little more.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's still like this. I don't know. I just feel like, in my opinion, I thought by this point I was gonna feel more highly, I guess, about their characters. Like,
Yeah.
I don't hate their characters by any means. I wouldn't say that at all. But I just feel like at this point, I don't know, because I just feel like there should be more. At least I should be feeling a certain way more so about their characters. Like at this point, even after season 2. But yeah, we have got more with Reg's past, so I do like that. I do like to see that. And then also Rico, even towards the end of this season, how she was with a lot of the hollows and kind of like she was almost like leading them in a way, like, actually like offering like her words of, I guess, like kind of leading them or support. So I guess we did see it's more so probably her maybe resembling more so of her mother, I guess, in a way, kind of acting like that. So yeah, we did see, I would say some parts, you know, a little bit of development, but I don't know. I just, maybe it's when we get even deeper, like I mentioned before, and I feel like there's still some really big reveals to come. So maybe that's like whether it has to do with Reg's past, maybe Rico's mom, things of that nature. Also, there's something apparently happening on the surface. They kind of hinted at that in the second season as well. I remember Reg, he was like, "What the heck is going on?" Like on the surface. So that's something we got to kind of keep in mind too. So
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was a scene, I forget what episode exactly it was, but there was Reg had like noticed something that was like it was like in the air actually, I think, and I forget what it was, but he was saying, "Oh, I wonder what's happening on the surface," or like, "What the heck is going on up there?" That's how he like kind of phrased it.
So it was like,
okay.
It's like the world just tore asunder or something while they're going deeper. Like maybe that's why they have to go to this.
I think it was when, or it had something to do with when it was around the time when they were trying to send stuff up from the 6th layer. It was around that time where something had happened, and he was like, "What the heck is going on in the surface? Like, what is going on up there?"
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think there is still potential for Reg and Rico's characters. Like, I hope they grow on me more. Like I said, I would say overall, I still enjoy their characters, but I don't know. I thought that's one of the things still kind of holding it back from a Made in Abyss reaching like the next level for me. And it's still like solid, like it's still good.
Yeah,
in my opinion, though. So
yeah,
I just guess I think it has potential to be so much more for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it comes down to those two.
Okay, I can kind of see where you're coming from. But yeah, I mean, again, Made in Abyss, beautiful, especially the finale. I think I actually got misty-eyed during quite a few times during the finale. Like, especially that one scene where I think where Faputa was mourning Waco's death, and then she was like, she belongs with mom, but yet why? Why do I feel this way? That really got to me. Like, I wasn't as on the verge of tears like I was during movie 3, but it's still really like moments like those. It really got to me. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and it sucks that we won't get a season 3 anytime soon because I've heard that almost all the source material has been adapted already. So yeah, there's only like a handful of chapters.
They're only like a few chapters behind, if I remember correctly. Don't know the exact amount.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a long time before we get a season 3 if they decide to do it, which kind of sucks. But
it seems like they're pretty dedicated to it. So
yeah,
it just might. Yeah, it's like you said, it just might be a while till we get more.
But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, other than that, are we ready to move on to what is, in my opinion, my second favorite show of the summer season?
Yes.
Lycoris Recoil.
Yeah, I think we can all agree we didn't expect much from this anime to be, early on. It got announced kind of randomly, and Lycoris Recoil of sorts. And initially, we were not more sure what to make. At first, it was like maybe just two girls just going about traveling, and then the next few visuals was like, oh, it's just a cafe. And the trailer comes, and you just see them pulling up with guns at the end. It's like, wait, what? Wait, hold on, wait, what? And then it just turns out it's this wonderfully fun and bombastic and probably one of the best sort of juxtapositioning of this sort of lighthearted hijinks of, but with this sort of this cool looking action orientated, the urban thing with like where the Lycers are like basically just like I don't know, enforcers of this peace and all, and it touches upon some really nice topics and themes, and like even though the real focus was on the two main characters and like how they're just kind of how they're they're like their growth, like how their journey is with this whole shebang, like how they like it's this really cool and this is really like nice sort of tone shift, like, and I have a thing with tone shifts. I thought this was done really well. Like one moment you're laughing your ass off at their height, at their stuff, and you're like, there's some wholesome moments, and then like the next half you're just like, there's some serious stuff going on. It's all fun. It's all in good fun. I wouldn't say it's perfect. I wouldn't say that. I think a lot of problems that people might have had are more like had to do with what they were expecting. Were they over expecting? Were they under expecting? I don't know. I felt like when they started getting the guns in and all, I felt like they were trying to over expect things. And then also the part where a particular character they think was supposed to die, but no, of course that they didn't try to pull that just for the sake of it. But yeah, there's a lot I want to talk about. What did you guys think about it?
It's my favorite show of the season.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Rom.
Wait, did you?
Yeah, Rom.
Wait, did you watch it?
Yeah, apparently Rom watched it. Like he watched this and Classroom of the Elite.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say it was, Rom?
Oh, it's easily my favorite. Like it was so well done.
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe that like the characters, the world, the everything just about it just seemed to work really well. Like the villain of the story, since Queen hasn't seen it, is done very well, and he's more of he is a villain, but you understand his motives, and that's something that I feel like we just don't get a lot of. And he plays his role very, very well.
Oh my god.
He's such a menace.
He's like the fucking Joker in a way.
Oh yeah. The world that they create is very unique, with the whole premise of it, and I just think the characters bouncing off the two main characters, Takina and Chisato, are just really well done. And I love their
bonds
chemistry.
develop naturally.
Oh yeah, their chemistry together is great. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think there's a reason why a lot of people consider it one of the best of the season.
Yeah. What about trying to address the possible issues that people did have with it, from what you've heard?
The funny thing is, the biggest issue I heard was that people were mad about the studio not leaning more into the Yuri.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
That would be too. I mean, it would be nice, but I didn't want it to where they have to go out of their way to try to force one just for the sake of the fans.
That's true.
Like I just like how the relationship doesn't need to go to that, and it feels a lot more beautiful, like a lot more befitting to me than when they try to force a Yuri ending. Like I've seen with a bunch of other shows where they just, I don't know what to say about those. Like those are just like, it's.
I feel like those haven't worked out too more often. I feel like those that kind of just row or just going that, like forcing it doesn't work out.
There's a reason why some things like Cross and J just turned into a wreck when they try to force that.
I think actually, because of the way that their chemistry built, I can see why a lot of people immediately assume that it was like they kind of could have had that kind of relationship. Because if they did, it would have actually felt natural. It wouldn't have felt forced, in my opinion. It would have actually felt like if they had a romantic relationship, it actually would have been like, you know what? Yeah, it's not the fan just being horny. No, it's actually like a real thing. Like, I could see that happening. Thankfully, from what I've seen, most of the complaints are very more nitpicky things and less of like a whole, which is something that is actually pretty rare for a series that kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah. And I kind of feel like easily a favorite
of mine as well, and that speaks a lot considering the whole bunch of shit I've been watching.
Yeah, and
I'm still trying to figure out like. Spike's family could compete for it. Maybe Bleach, maybe Chainsaw Man, but
no, Chainsaw Man.
That's tough. That's tough. That's tough.
Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man's already gonna be number one. I've been praising Chainsaw Man for even before it was even announced. So yeah. But I think funnily enough, I think the shows that don't have a large fan base beforehand are the ones that really shine the most. Like for example, 86 didn't really have didn't have a big fan base, but it became probably my favorite show of that season. And same thing with this one. I didn't know anything about it. It's an original concept. There is no light novel. There is no manga. There is no game.
Which one before? I misheard you. I'm
86.
sorry.
86. I mean, I knew that it was a thing beforehand, but it wasn't like there was other shows much more talked about, and 86 was the gem. The gem in the ground.
I agree on that. Yeah.
It's like a top. That's not just a top 10, a top 5. Like only behind Mushoku, Madoka, and Violet Evergarden, which says a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it just seems like the shows that are doing more original premises are just, I enjoy them a lot more nowadays.
Yeah.
Like there are a bunch of shows that have are adaptations that are great. It just, for some reason, my personal liking is just the originals tends to be the ones that are just like the standout performers, and it was definitely it.
They are hit or miss though. It depends on how you land it.
It's one of those, but if they're good, they're really good. Princess Principal, same thing. It was original, didn't know anything. Psychopath
season 1.
Yeah, that's right. It was an original concept.
Oh, it was?
Wow. I think it was a light novel. I never saw it as a light novel.
That plot was just god tier. Like it was it was crazy how everything was built with that one. Like when it goes well, it goes well with anime originals. When it goes bad though, it goes bad.
Well, I mean, it becomes no one remembers them because they're originals, so they have nothing to be based off of. But yeah. Oh God, Tacto P.
Oh, let's not talk about that. Anyway,
sorry.
You know, I personally think that Queen, I would definitely recommend it. It's really worth all the praise it's giving. And again,
surprised Queen has not watched it yet.
I mean, I wanted to, and because I've seen edits like all on TikTok, and I was like gonna watch it by myself, but like everybody has been asking me to react to it, and I'm like, I'm so busy with work and other shit that I don't have time.
I get that. I get that.
I need to get my sister to watch it at some point too.
I'm actually mad that I just decided to watch it on a whim. I was like, damn it, I should have reacted to this because this is good. After the second episode, I was like, damn it, I should have reacted to this.
I should have reacted.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.
If you do decide to watch it, I can see why people would want people to react to it. It is that good of a show. It's that solid. But yeah, I personally think that it was a standout of the season.
Just fuck this, whatever the hell does that review. Always the same guy. Always the same guy. Oh no.
Is it the same guy who talked shit about it? Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Yep.
Lycoris what?
And I read all of it. I read all of it. I read all of it. They're all nitpicks. They're all nitpicks. They're all just glossing over it.
Wait, are we talking about the same guy that made the Rent-A-Girlfriend review?
That's the one we shared.
Oh
that's the one.
It's more like Taki nah. If you know, you're not. God damn it.
Shisato more like mid Sato.
Oh man. Oh my God.
No, we're gonna give him ideas, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna get. Oh, we should.
Yeah, we don't want to stoke.
All right, but it's just so well. I want to rewatch it.
Would you classify this as like a buddy cop series, like show?
I'm not so sure.
Because I was gonna say this may be like not may this
would
be the best.
Psychopaths would kind of be more like a buddy cop.
Psychopaths. Yeah.
It would definitely be more in the realm of Psychopaths in a way, but much more lighthearted. At times. I mean, like as an overall.
I've actually talked about I've even compared, the main villain of this to Maxima in a way where they weren't really evil. It's not like they're bad people, but you can kind of understand why they did this, and it makes sense, and that makes them compelling. Like how they're challenging they're not. They don't feel like they don't think. Oh, they're these big bad whatnot. They feel like they're like a matron, helping those in need, like a savior of sorts, and which makes them of such an interesting antagonistic force. That's why I feel like the reason why I really loved Psychopaths was kind of the same along some of the same reasons why I ended up liking Lycoris Recoil, because of that villain. Because of how the things kind of feel comparable in a way. But of course, the main draw was the two main characters, of course. It's that crazy.
I think it's a little disrespectful to compare him to Makishima, but...
Yeah, I know. I mean, but I can't help but think about it's kind of reminiscent.
The reasoning as to why they're doing the kind of thing. I get that.
I see the comparison. I don't know. For me, I enjoyed the show a lot, but I feel like it still worked or was at its best when it was more lighthearted and them just doing dumb shit together. Honestly.
I can see that.
When it got more serious and especially with the antagonists and even the Shinji guy and whatnot. When it started to get more serious, it was kind of losing me a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie.
I can actually, I can see that.
I'm not saying I wouldn't even say it was bad, but I'm just saying that's where it's because I was at a point where I was like, oh, this is which I still think is great. I would still say it's great, but it did kind of slip a little bit for me but that's maybe just I don't know
personal preference.
Personal preference kind of thing. Because you compare the beginning of the series and that I feel like when I look back on the series, that's when I was having the most fun with it, and it was when it was just like the two of them, or even like the whole cafe group when they're just like being dumb, like just doing dumb shit together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still like this show a lot for sure, and I was looking out for this one. I really was. I was telling people. I'm pretty sure I was telling people in the Discord and even like in my lineup video, because I saw like the staff for it. I saw like Shingo Adachi was directing this, and I was like, man, this is gonna be something to look out for. I feel like even with it being an original and whatnot. And then like I think you mentioned earlier, Ryu, like the visual when you saw like the last visual or like the trailer, it was really like the visual when it was like split in half. When you saw like the bottom half of it with them like holding guns and whatnot, and then the top part of it, it's like, oh, this seems like a lighthearted, nice, wholesome show, and then they're just holding guns. But yeah, I really did enjoy this show. I think this is one that definitely deserves. Still, I would say, despite my little like nitpick or personal preference or whatever, I still feel like it definitely deserves the praise that it's got. And definitely one of the best shows of the year so far. I would say one of the best, just in my recent memory, in terms of like the main pair, like the two main characters, just one of the best we've had.
Oh yeah, the voice actors had so much fun.
Oh yeah,
the chemistry that's a big thing. I feel like with them. So
like
just the way they bounce off of each other.
Yeah, I've not seen a chemistry that strong between two characters like ever. Like in this year at least. I can't say anything. I love Spy Family. I don't even think the chemistry between the three of them are as strong as how they made it seem. And just say that.
I agree.
I love Spy Family, but the way, and I think they both did how the chemistry works between all of them phenomenally. I just think that the way they handled it in Lycoris Recoil was just that much better. With how Takina just slowly changed from I just want to get the hell out of here to I'm gonna fight for my life to save Chisato, and just all that, just how it developed.
I would say for 2022 for this year, I would say they're the closest one I can maybe think of. Like you brought up Spy Family, that would probably be one in the discussion, but also for me it would maybe be like Marin and Gojo, like their chemistry. That would maybe be. It would probably be between those three shows.
I love that series. It's so good.
They're all great. So we're talking about three great shows. So
that's in terms of chemistry characters. Yeah, that's a really good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's a good
one.
But
when you're bringing up these two in the same discussion as like Marin and Gojo or like the Spy Family cast, I mean that's saying a lot. So.
Oh yeah, and it's a like big hats off to the writers. I think they did a phenomenal job with everything. I mean, just the entire team behind it too. It was just a very solid, good show, and I think that's all I can really say about it. Like, if you haven't seen it, obviously just at least check it out, and you'll know in one or two episodes if it's up your alley.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the biggest surprises for me this year, because when I read the PV and the synopsis, I was like, oh, all right, cute girls wielding guns. Yeah, I'll check it out. I thought it was gonna be like some 12 episode like seasonal one-off type show. I did not expect this show to basically take the anime community by storm. I did not expect this show to be. I did not expect it to be so invested in these characters. I did not expect Majima to be probably one of the best antagonists of this year, and I did not expect such great action, great gunplay from this series. It's just it's really good in multiple aspects. If I have to get some cons, if I had to list some cons or like some issues I have with this series, it might have to be like I actually had a debate with Ryu on this on Twitter. The scenes the scenes with the civilians acquiring the guns.
Yeah, that is a mixed bag. Like, I can actually see why people have differing views on it. And when I thought about it, like, I think it's because like how you view society, whether it's in a more positive light, a more negative light, and like what feels more believable and what doesn't. I think that's a subjective, and I feel like in that scene they could have done it differently. I felt like but I didn't find it that big an issue. In all honesty, like in hindsight, I still even when I keep looking back at it, like I do. But I mean, I do again. I do believe there was an option of going somewhere else with that. But I didn't find it too big an issue. I just think it depends on your personal perspective on it, and considering like it is set in Japan, and Japan does have this harsh thing with this harsh little revolver guns.
It's almost impossible to get guns in Japan.
Yeah,
so, for personal use, I mean, outside of enforcement. So yeah, that makes sense.
I just think that scene could have been done a lot better. I mean, because like I get where Ryu's coming from. Like, it's supposed to establish the fact, people are reacting to the fact that the piece was a ruse. I get that, but I think it could have been done better because here we see this, like, we see Majima's announcements, like his broadcast in one scene, and then we see this average-looking Joe with a gun in his hand, which he knows is illegal because he lives in Japan. He knows that shit is illegal, and all of a sudden we just see him capping a little girl, like a teenage girl. So it's like, and that just kind of took me out of it for a while.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It was one of those things I feel like they could have fleshed out a little bit more, but again, it didn't take away that much enjoyment for me. I was like, that could have been done better.
Yeah. Also, I want to. Oh, what were you about to say?
I was about to say, like, remember what Majin was saying, just like, oh, these girls are the ones, like, they will do anything to enforce the peace. So, like, because he has a gun, he's a threat to the peace. And so he thinks, oh, he's going to get shot. And then so he just shoots the girl. And, like, yeah, that's the overreaction. That was a bad decision on his part. Guy was probably more worried about, like, how the fuck do I get by with his day life? And all of a sudden he's just put in this situation. Like, I'm pretty sure he was about to try to take this to law enforcement until that broadcast came up, and then just blew up. Like, it was a really bad fallout on that part. I do agree. I understand where Quora was coming from. Like, it could have been done better. It could have been done better in one way or another. But I didn't find it too big an issue, if anything.
I also think another scene that could have been done better was that scene in the park where we see this guy. He found the gun under the bench. He picks it up. He stumbles and he shoots himself in the head. I'm like, okay, first.
Did he really shoot himself in the head?
I'm pretty sure he did.
It's implied.
Yeah,
but it's not confirmed.
Yeah, it's that. No, it's pretty much.
Because if you remember, the police found him with the gun, and that drew, and like the police are supposed to stop it, and the guy just panicked, and the whole thing was the strict law of guns. It was like, and then like he just made this sort of, this really bad decision. And like, I do say that I think the overreaction, like the bad decisions are what can be seen as the issue. The issue there, like they could have been just fleshed out a little better, maybe gone a slightly different route. But again, I didn't find it too big an issue. If anything, it was just highlighting that people. The thing is, people can just on a whim make really bad decisions. It's actually not it's not impractical, honestly. Even trying not to view it from a very pessimistic standpoint, it's kind of how it is. Especially when you consider that these people are more familiarized with peace, that they may not know how to handle conflict or like an issue with like guns as well as they should have, because they're just so used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but it's like, he grabs a gun out of the paper bag with his finger on the trigger. It's like, you don't do that. You don't fucking do that. That is like, you don't have to be a firearm. Like, I get it. Like, Japanese people are not familiar with guns. But I feel like you don't have to be a firearms expert to know that you don't pick up a gun with your trigger already on the finger. That's just common sense. And also he was like questioning like, oh, is this a toy? Like, you can...
Someone who's been on a range, that would surprise you. Just saying. I've seen so many negligent discharges. I'm like,
oh my god.
Trust me, that's actually pretty common.
I believe Ramen on this. Reality is sometimes crazier than fiction. Let's just say that.
I guess so. Well, but yeah, and he was also questioning like it was a toy. Like, boy, you could easily like a toy is not made of solid metal. It's pretty fucking easy to tell what is a toy gun, what a toy gun feels like, and what a real gun feels like. I don't know.
We're surprised with airsoft guns.
I mean, yeah, airsoft guns. They look real from a distance, but once you actually have it in your hand, it's pretty easy to tell. I mean,
I think at that point, like he might have tried to figure that it was a toy gun, but by the time it was on his finger, and then the police came, he just panicked and just pulled the trigger,
and he pops himself.
Yeah, or assumingly, or the police might have shot him.
Actually, I want to rewatch that scene just.
When I first saw the scene, I was like, wait, what the fuck happened? Like, I doubt that caught me completely by surprise.
I think that itself was interpretation. Like, did the police shoot him? Did he shoot himself? Either way, now that the badger was just passed out his guns.
I mean, it's pretty obvious
he's trying to cause chaos.
Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious he shot himself.
But he's also giving people decision. I bet, like, he's putting them in a really bad position to make a decision and all, and that's it. I mean, I can understand why people may find an issue with that.
I mean, it's pretty easy. It's probably obvious that he shot himself. I mean, we saw him stumble. His hand goes like the gun goes towards his head. The gun pops off, and we see the policeman even shocked. I mean, and there's no like smoke coming out of the policeman's gun, so we know he didn't shoot him. So yeah,
that might not necessarily be the case. Like, maybe they don't need to animate the smoke. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, even if he did shoot himself, it's just kind of like, yeah, he made a really bad, like, he did, like, I've seen where people, they've been expecting something like, or maybe the guy just was trying to, just out of panic, just raised it and then just pulled the trigger like that, and just boom, just like, probably might have killed himself at that point. I mean, he literally just shot himself in the head.
Yeah. Also,
but I mean,
what were you about to say?
No, never mind.
Oh, and another, like, I know some people have a problem with the ending. I mean, and to that, I mean, I can kind of see where they're coming from. Like, I mean, the ending, it wasn't a spectacular end, but I think it was solid. It was a solid ending.
It's perfect for if they couldn't get a second season, but that's open enough where it could. It ended. I actually think it ended exactly how it should, where it's a happy ending. But if they wanted to, and if they had the money, which I'm pretty sure they did, now that it went successful, they could do a second season. So
the director has expressed wanting to do at least spin-offs or a sequel. I feel like a spin-off is the most likely, but a sequel would be more nice as well. I mean, I would love more. Like, a spin-off would be nice to flesh out on some of the other things that could have been, more explored upon, like the Lily Bells and all. Yeah,
I think the sequel actually
or even further into Majima's own the main villain's own past.
Oh yeah,
that would be great.
I want to know more about Mika. Screw that. I want to know more about Mika and his whole self. I'm like. Especially at the last episode, I was like, "Holy shit, Mika!"
Mika is such a great character.
I'm sure they'll do more. From what I saw, it sold really well for the first volume of the Blu-ray. It was like 23,000.
Just behind Jujutsu Kaisen movie.
Yeah, it's putting up like JJK, like close to JJK numbers and up there.
Damn.
So
so they'll probably we'll get something. And
I think they said
I'm gonna watch whatever it is.
I think they said it's the best-selling TV anime for this year so far.
Wow. That's impressive.
Like, in terms of like the Blu-rays, DVD sales, or whatever.
I mean, Chainsaw Man hasn't come out, but
so far. As of the time we're recording this.
So they'll make money. I mean, like, if this were to come out during Chainsaw Man, that's another story. But I think because of how this, what season this came out in, with Devil is a Part-Timer not doing as well, I think it'll make its money back, and more. I think the money itself will dictate that it's going to get something.
I would be very surprised if we don't see more, even if it's not a sequel. Like, if there's not a spin-off, or there's not,
I'd be really surprised if they don't capitalize on this.
They really should. It's hot. It's hot enough. They don't wait 10 years and then have a very
God, no. Oh God,
man.
Out there. Don't put that.
Don't put that out there.
No, do not.
We don't need that.
No.
Japan, listen to me. I know you just let tourists back in, but come on, don't be that slow.
But with the ending of Lycoris Recoil, like I said, I wouldn't exactly call it underwhelming like some people are saying. But
I don't understand that part.
I don't understand.
Underwhelming.
Like it's a safe ending. It's a
very safe.
I know.
I'm gonna say Giselle should have died. No, that's not how it goes. We don't force death for the sake of the drama. We only do it if she had literally no other option. There was literally no other option. But there was more than one option to save her, from the theoretical standpoint, and they capitalized on it. And it's not like she how it was ended, it didn't force any drama. Everything just kind of played out as it is. The final fight was pretty nice.
Yeah, they didn't try to do anything too crazy. They
something
said,
that
they left the door open.
Yeah.
Potential.
Yeah. They left a lot.
Because the main villain still got.
Majima is still alive somehow. Yeah, he's still at large.
Majima survived. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I feel like, and they could explore that one scene where that member of Lilybell was glaring at Chisato a certain way, and then
hinting at a past.
Yeah, you know him, and so they could explore that as well with the season 2. And we could get a season 2. Because they did announce there was going to be something related to Lycoris Recoil. I think coming next year, maybe around
February 11th.
Yeah, February.
It might not be much, but it's something to kind of at least look forward to. It maybe hint at something.
Oh yeah. But other than that, the finale was
I think that's
great.
a good wrap up.
Yeah, overall, Lycoris Recoil, great fucking show. Like I said, my second favorite for the summer season. And are we ready to move on to Danmachi season? What was it? Is it season 4?
Season 4.
Season 4, yeah.
I don't even know where they're at. I don't even know where they're at.
Yeah.
I don't even. I'm just watching it now. I'm just watching it.
They're still in the same dungeon, because that's where I remember it was a super long arc. Was they were still in this long dungeon going down floors. That's what I remember last. I think that was season 3.
I don't even remember specifically what floor they're on now, but they just fought this beast or whatever.
They fought that big black, the cleaner thing. And,
what was it called? Juggernaut, right?
I think so, yeah. Belle and Ryu are stuck in the White Palace or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
okay. So it's past where I left off in the manga. Okay.
Yeah. I just feel like this is, for the most part, just same old Danmachi.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't really have. If you're going into Danmachi season 4, you're at season 4. You should know really what to expect.
It's split core, apparently.
Yeah, it's split core. So I guess we're going down to even the deeper floors in the next, based on where Ryu and Belle are. But I don't know. I still I liked what we had. I found the actual where they're at with the waterfall, where they're at, the location. I did find it kind of fascinating, and also the juggernaut creature that they fought, and even just the other mobs that are here. Obviously you can tell we're starting to get into more we're getting into territory where it's much more of a threat, so
it's getting real dark real quickly.
It was pretty graphic. It was pretty graphic with what was happening to a lot of the adventures from the juggernaut. My goodness, their limbs are flying through, flying past people, being cut off and shit. I was like, what the? So I think they nailed that pretty good, just how terrifying this juggernaut creature was. So, but for the most part, it's still you have a group of adventurers gathering together. They're exploring the new area. They're encountering new mobs. There's a boss. Bell does some cool shit. So it's pretty much the same old Danmachi. I enjoy it. I personally have a good time usually when I'm watching Danmachi. I don't really I don't necessarily have any like huge complaints, but I'm not like super crazy about it, but it's solid. It's solid enough. I would say, actually, I don't know if I would say this is my favorite season. It's kind of the same. I feel like for the most part, I said the same thing for like Overlord and Made in Abyss, but it's like each season of Danmachi, I feel like they've all been around the same for me in terms of my enjoyment. But I would maybe give the edge to I did like the previous season. It'd probably be between season 3 and season 4 for me, for like my favorite. Well, depending on what happens in the second core, because I guess it's going to be a part of the same season.
Yeah,
just split core. So yeah, that's. I don't really have much else to say about Danmachi. If you're going into Danmachi, you should know really what to expect.
What to expect, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
There's really not much else to kind of talk about with it.
Like I'm just indifferent about Danmachi, right? Like I just don't even want to talk about it. It's just like whatever. It's just there. It's just there. I just it's gotten darker, but it's just like, dude, it isn't much. And then really just kind of off the deep end.
It's still Danmachi. It's still the same.
It's still the same thing, but
like it's not a different show, or it's like not. There hasn't been like a twist where it's like, oh, like what even is this show now? Like what am I watching? No, it's still Danmachi. It's still the same things that make up Danmachi. Bell's there's gonna be some BS that happens where Bell it'll look like he's about to die or he's dead, and he comes back and like fucks up a boss or something. I mean. But I guess with the Juggernaut, it was a little different, but still, it's mostly the same kind of things going on. So, yeah, I don't know. Did you guys want to bring up anything else with Danmachi?
This is all you guys, because I don't watch Danmachi.
Not really.
Yeah. There's not much to say. There's really not much to say.
No, you know exactly what you want.
Like I said, you're this far in.
You're on season 4.
Yeah,
you know everything.
Yeah, you know what you're getting into. You're this far in. It's Danmachi, and yeah, that's really it.
All right. Well, Isekai Ojisan's next.
All right, Isekai Ojisan. It's.
I'm not caught up, but I've been enjoying it.
I want to
watch
comedy.
It's a comedy. With good comedy moments.
The beginning, couple episodes, the beginning couple episodes, I was really I was getting so many laughs out of the first 2 or 3 episodes. I feel like, and then the most recent episodes we've had, I know we're on it's on a break or whatever.
It's really it's fucked up back. Upload schedule.
Yeah, that was a disaster. That's a disaster. It's a production disaster.
It's due to the production.
It has
due to COVID things or something like that.
I don't think it's even COVID related. That's so much COVID related anymore as it is maybe from a business handling.
You can tell the production's kind of struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows what they We'll never probably really know the truth or whatever the heck's going on.
That's why we kind of have to take some of that info that a lot of Doom posted with a grain of salt, because it could be something else that even those people with this supposed intel may not know.
Yeah. But like I was saying, the beginning episodes, I feel like I was really into. I was having a blast. I was getting a lot of laughs out of the first 2 or 3 episodes. It was starting to kind of drag for me with before it kind of went away. It was kind of starting to get a little I'm not these jokes or these certain things aren't hitting as much for me anymore. So I'm kind of in a spot right now where I still say overall I enjoy it, but I'm not as crazy about it as I was towards the beginning. So we'll see if it'll be the second half of the series, I guess. If the second half of the series can kind of bring it back, but I feel like that's such a big it's unfortunate we can't do anything about it, but it's you're gonna come back months later to the series, and by then you're freaking forgot about it.
How many episodes are they on right now? Have they
7.
done
6? I think
7. I'm on 5 then.
7.
Oh, then I'm right behind him. Okay, so I'm not too far behind it.
Yeah, you're not too far behind.
It's you're gonna wait months, and it's it might not even hit the same anymore. You forgot about it.
Right.
Yeah. So if you want to watch it, I'd recommend just waiting. I mean,
yeah,
it's a solid show. I mean, you're not going to be expecting like groundbreaking character development or story. It's a funny show. It's a funny show, and
purely
that's what
pretty
you
much
should
a
expect.
comedy.
Like, don't expect. Yeah, as long as you just expect, I'm just going in for laughs. You're gonna have a good time. I think there's enough uniqueness in the comedy where it'll stand out.
And it has some cool references too to like Sonic, other old even Attack on Titan. There was Attack on Titan reference.
Yep.
So
like it's very in universe, which is what I like. You don't see many shows do that.
And it makes a lot of references to like being a YouTuber that actually is like.
I know we brought it.
Yeah, legitimate references.
I feel some pain. I felt some pain in that one.
I know we brought up in the last podcast like the joke about the YouTube changes to YouTube partner program.
Yeah, like it's actually like whoever they've done their research or they know how YouTube works at least. Because they actually went into some of the, like the more intricate like details of it. I'm like, wow, this actually is something I can relate to a lot.
I remember watching it and I was like, holy shit, it's deja vu all over again. And talking about like comments and like just, I was like, wow, it really is like being a YouTuber. It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you're gonna watch it, I would say just wait till I guess it comes back and then catch up. Or, I mean, maybe what I'm going to do is probably rewatch it from the beginning up until the point like when the next episode comes out. Because, I don't know, I just feel like I said, when a couple months passes, you're just going to forget about the show for the most part. Because like, you consume so much more stuff in between that time. It's like, oh, I forgot this was even coming back.
Yeah, for me, like, I kind of, I pretty much agree with Memory on the most part. It's just okay for me. Like, like him, I did, like, find the first few episodes funny. But episodes after that, it just, like, a lot of the humor just really wasn't clicking for me. And I just don't agree with people who say, like, who's just hyping. I think there's still a lot of people hyping this up to be like, oh, this is such a great comedy. It's so hilarious.
I think, sorry, Chibi,
I
feel like you kind of just blew this up, like even with disregarding it, like I don't think it's that. I personally really dislike it. I like the comedy kind of clicks in sometimes every now and then with the references, but for the most part, it's just like I'm not really entertained as I'm supposed to be, considering that it's very comedy centric. It's just more like just there.
And
Lara's gonna hate us.
Lars says this is his number one show of the season. I'm like, it's not even done airing. How are you?
Has he even watched anything else from this season?
He's watching a couple things. He's like, no, Isekai Ojisan is number one. I'm like, it's not even done. I don't care. The main character is cute, or the main girl's hot, and that's all.
He finds her hot. She's not even flat chested. Or is he talking about like the Tsundere elf?
Yeah, the Tsundere elf.
Oh, okay, her. Okay, okay, I can understand where. Okay, I
just based off a character.
Okay.
Are you kidding me, man?
It's Lar. What do you expect?
Oh yeah, I forget. I forget who we talking about.
Yeah, let's remember who we're talking about.
It could be like the has nothing to do with it. But is she flat chested?
Sorry, Lar, if you're watching this.
I'm so sorry.
I will say also the constant. I feel like they do it too much. Is like they go to his past. Like
I feel like they show him like suffering like just way too much.
They do that. Yeah, they do that too much. Like they go into like the little like flashback thing or whatever and show like his previous life. And I'm just like, they do that too much, especially like the more recent episode.
Yeah, I feel like this is worse than like what we saw with Kei and her bullying. At least with Kei, we saw some happy moments with her. The Ojisan, we just see most of her just suffering.
His character is so infuriating sometimes. Like, I'm like, like, you'll treat me for dinner, right? Wow, she's trying to extort me. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I've actually cursed at a character when I was watching. I was like, you dumbass, you stupid. I'm getting mad.
Motherfucker.
You motherfucker.
And then there's Mad Lad who just dislikes him because he's ugly.
It's true. It's true. We talked about this. That's one of the reasons. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why he just dislikes this series.
That was one of the reasons why he wasn't looking forward to the series. Yes. Before it even started, he was like, "The main character is ugly. He's so ugly."
Oh man.
Oh my god. I mean, he ain't wrong, but Jesus Christ. He's got.
I guess he stays taking L's, catching strays.
Exactly.
Oh, man, I mean, damn, Mad Lad. I didn't know he woke up today and chose violence. Jesus.
He wakes up every Wednesday
Holy
and just
shit.
chose violence with this show. Have you seen some of his replies? Like he hates this show so much.
I mean,
he makes it so.
I really dislike the show too, but I'm not gonna go off on it. Like, it's just not worth my time.
I mean, you're also not much of a. You don't really. A lot of comedies you don't really care for. So which is fair. I mean, if you're not a comedy person, you're not going to like the show. So yeah.
Also,
him and his glasses.
Him and his
fucking glasses. Those fucking glasses. But yeah, no.
I think another problem I have with this show is that we have like the elf who is a tsundere and all that. We have Mabel, who I guess is more dere. I mean, we have all these like more generic isekai like anime concepts, but the thing is that it's supposed to be a comedy anime, and rather than poking fun at those concepts, I feel like it doesn't really do that. It just like we just get like a generic annoying tsundere. We just get Mabel, who's just like a bland dere, you know. It doesn't really do anything interesting with those concepts.
Bland dere, I like that one.
It pretty much just follows like the tropes, just like it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think because they're mostly focusing on his backstory and the whole real life magic thing, so I don't think they're really looking into like breaking down the characters a little, because that actually would make things a lot more interesting too. I agree. But I think they're just focused on like the whole backstory on him and then the magic in the real world. So, but that would be, who knows? Maybe, I mean, they could continue. I mean, whenever it decides to continue, get updated. So,
I mean, if as long as it doesn't keep doing these episodic format, I mean, might get something interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, like I recommend it if you just want like have a good laugh or a chuckle and just not really have anything serious. I think that it's a good.
It's worth checking out. Yeah,
it's worth it. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. You'll know if you like it within the first episode.
Yeah,
you don't even need to give it 2. I think just 1 episode you'll know if this is going to be your show, a show that you'll enjoy. So,
but yeah, other than that, any final thoughts on Isekai Ojisan, or are we ready to move on to this series? My stepsister is my ex.
Oh my god!
Wait, how many people are actually watching? How many of you guys are
Mad Lad is? No. Mad Lad is, and he loves it. He really likes this show.
Who loves it?
Mad Lad. We talked about this last podcast. Yeah, Mad Lad. You and Memory were debating with Mad Lad on this show.
Yeah, I watched like an episode or 2 and dropped it.
It doesn't really. They just dabble. I don't like how all this was set up.
I don't know if I'd say this is on Rent a Girlfriend level, but it's pretty close to.
It's not. It's not. I wouldn't say it's god awful, but it's like, whatever. I don't care. I don't like how they're done. For 2 emotionally sensitive people, how do they go with this roundabout of where they broke up? Then all of a sudden they're family, and now they're suddenly having these thoughts of wanting to get back together or whatever. Like maybe in the future down the street. I just didn't like.
I mean, what is this, domestic ex-girlfriend? I mean, it's like domestic girlfriend. I was like, wait a second, I've read this before, just not as raunchy. Definitely not as raunchy.
I don't know.
I heard it was like a more.
It's not finished. It's a light novel. It might go that route. Oh god.
Never say never. But I mean, from what people have said, it seems like it's a more light-hearted version of that, with less.
I mean, there are also moments. There are.
Yeah, I heard it, but I mean, like, I heard it's an show.
Yeah,
I heard it's not terrible. I mean, I highly doubt it's as bad as Rent-A-Girlfriend.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't say it's as bad as Rent.
Yeah, there's no way it's as
But
bad.
I mean, you're not. I don't think you're going to be expecting A+ material of, oh man, this writing, two people broke up and now they're on their family. I mean, we've seen this before.
Pre-fiction, yeah. We get it. We get the joke. Don't worry about it.
Oh man.
For people who have seen it, I mean, like, is it worth it? Honestly, like, is it even worth checking out for anyone? Honestly,
no.
I would say no.
Is it like?
There's better rom-coms to watch.
I'm glad my sister hasn't heard. I'm glad my sister hasn't heard about it, because if she saw that, she'd be like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, man?" Like,
I mean, if we really want to go with degeneracy, there's Domestic Girlfriend or Manga Sensei. Pick your poison.
Oh yes.
Manga Sensei. Oh.
Yes, the series that got ramen to 15K subs.
Oh, I know. I still can't believe that's like. What are you famous for?
That's your claim to fame.
It's my claim to fame, as much as I hate to admit it.
Oh man,
I'm glad I wasn't the reactor when that was airing.
But yeah, going back to this series, oh man, I still remember, like, if you guys watched it, like, I still remember, like, during the last podcast where Ryu said he almost fell asleep watching the show.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, the last episode at least had a really decent moment. I mean, I'm not so sure how to feel about it, like, as a whole leading up to that point, but it's just like, oh, okay, it's just nice and all, but it's like, I don't know what it is. It kind of felt like a whole lot of nothing in its entirety. Like, I just don't like when rom-coms like that just kind of muddle around. Like, it doesn't feel like they progress. Like, maybe there is some progression, but it doesn't feel like it sticks out. Like, oh, this is the moment where this and this and that happens. Like, I don't like when all these, these generic, like, even the ones that try to act like they're unique, but they're not. They're kind of following the same formula. This is the issue I'm having with this one. And I feel like this is going to be forgettable. Like, no one's going to, like, barely anyone's going to really remember it by the end of this, unless if it somehow gets a second season, which I doubt it at this point. I don't think Project Number 9 is known for sequels. If, like, OVAs, yeah, but I don't know about a whole second season.
I don't know, man. Rent-A-Girlfriend got a season 2. Anything is possible.
Yeah, but that's because
Reggie demanded 3.
That's because Reggie demanded it. Like, literal. I'm pretty sure that's because Reggie demanded it. He demanded to be adapted all the way. Even though he knows his shit's gonna be overgrown, because it's gonna extend it as long as they extend that fucking manga as long as he wants. That's how it is. For this one, I don't think so. I mean, I can see where people will enjoy it, though. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's like it's nowhere near like a groundbreaking thing or like one of the best things from this season even.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there.
I mean, I think it's going to be the in-between. It's a mediocre show. You watch it just because once you read the premise, you know exactly what you're in for.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the next...
Yeah, there's
the next one.
The next two. All right. Now I proposed that we skip this next one. So do you guys agree?
Can we skip? Yeah, we can skip.
I mean, the only thing I had to say, if you're going to like this show just based on it's a Virgin Killer Succubus or Virgin Killer Sweater Succubus. That's all you need to know.
Makes me miss DxD for real.
I mean, there's some. I can't speak on the Harem and the Labyrinth one.
Harem and the Labyrinth. The most cultured show of this year.
Yeah, I can't speak on that one, but I mean, there
several different versions.
There was some good ecchi in Vermeil. That's really like.
I don't compared to Harem, I don't think there's even.
Well, yeah, because Harem has like a whole nother it has versions that are uncensored that aired on like other TV stations. I don't think Vermeil even had that.
Yeah,
exactly. I heard it was just implied stuff. So.
But yeah, speaking of Harem and the Labyrinth, let's talk about that.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't read the premise. I'm good.
Skip.
Oh my god. Oh, all right. Well,
You're welcome to gush about it. I mean, you're welcome to talk about which one of the mommy milkers you like the most, judging from this screen. I mean,
I'm tempted to. I mean, in terms of just mommy milkers, I'd say the redhead. I mean, she has the biggest of them all. But in terms of girls who actually have screen time, I mean, Roxanne's really the only option. But yeah, Harem and the Labyrinth of Another World. Oh man, this is
forgettable.
It's
what did they do at the end? They just rushed to a harem. They just literally.
Okay, I mean, it isn't the title. It isn't the title. So.
Yeah, I will say. Okay, I guess like the non-ecchi scenes are forgettable. I mean, I can understand that because the world building is just it's not very like the whole labyrinth thing is just not really that good. But
yeah,
the scenes where the content that matters. That's that's where we're the highlights.
Yeah, but if that's
series.
just what you're there for, you might as well go watch hentai.
I mean,
again.
I mean, how often do you see like content this well animated? Like, not even hentai has that. Oh man. I mean,
I did not watch that, by the way. Just wanted. I need to cover my tracks.
Watch rants.
Watch rants.
God, no.
Oh
god, no. Don't talk about that one.
We're not gonna talk about. Okay. But yeah,
that's some great exploration.
Yeah, great exploration in more ways than one. But yeah, Harem in the Labyrinth of the World. I mean, great.
You know what you're expecting.
You know what you expect. Great ecchi content.
What you want.
Great ecchi content, great animation, great comedy, lewd comedy. I will say though, I think it's weird that it's called Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World because the past 11 episodes have basically just been Michio and Roxanne's lewd adventures. Like it doesn't actually. It takes 11 episodes.
That's what I heard. I heard they didn't even introduce the other. Yeah,
it takes 11 episodes.
They only introduced them at the very end.
Like, what is that?
That's one thing I didn't really like about this show. Because, like, it's supposed to be a harem show. Yeah, it takes 11 episodes for him to meet another girl. And the other girls that they show in the poster and in the OP, they don't show until the last, like, minute of the final episode.
I mean, obviously, it's because they're banking on that second season.
Yeah, they're trying to get more eyes on it, bro. They're trying to, like, let's throw these characters in the
They clearly had no plans.
Season 2, the way they just...
They clearly had no plans.
I doubt it's going to be season 2. Like, because from what I heard, not even the manga is caught up to that point. Not even the... I think even to that point, from what I heard, that's where the light novel is at the moment. So
you can go anime original, I guess.
Ouch.
There's an option there.
Yeah, let the staff go wild.
Yeah, it sucks though. I mean, because there are some good-looking girls in that harem. I wish they could have gave us a better introduction. But yeah, other than that, Isekai, harem show, peak fiction. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go to another A1 anime original.
Yeah, let's go to Engage Kiss, which is also one of Mad Lad's favorites this season. And upon his wishes, I'd say go easy on the show.
It's fucking shit. I don't know. I've never seen it.
It's disappointing.
Ramen's not wrong.
Oh my god!
With memory on this one. I wanted to be interesting, and then it was just like.
Unfortunately, there can only be one good A1 Pictures original this season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this one isn't the one.
It was not the one.
Oh man, I feel like we're gonna have an earful on this one. There's going to be some.
I don't care.
Hey, I didn't watch it. I'm just judging it based off of the name of the title, Engage. So therefore, shit. I have nothing to prove my basis, but
I don't know where to start. I mean, I don't know if memory will bring this up as well, but they try to make a sympathize with the mentor, and I don't know where to go with this. Like, I feel like this shoe guy could have been a really compelling character, and then when the fan was about to hit, all of a sudden, all the parts where he was suffering, all of a sudden he's back anew. All of a sudden he's just back anew, and I was like, he just gains it back. Somehow he was somehow just do some reversal, conveniently placed in, and then his partner, or maybe like the one he came in contract with, Sarah. She loses her memories only to just be fine by the end of this. And
really convenient.
And the final boss they were fighting was Shu's sister, who got turned into a God, there's just so much hodgepodge here.
It seems like you're having a bit struggle.
It's a mess.
Just talking about
it's that bad.
Summary.
It's that bad.
Uninteresting characters. The only plot point I maybe cared about was Shu's past, and that's really it. And even then,
that was the only glimmer I saw.
Yeah.
That part where the part where they just yeeted the one guy that was like a father to, like, I think, what was his name? He didn't show up here. He was like,
oh, the Miles guy.
Yeah,
was
Miles.
Was that him?
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
They tried to make it as most, like, will try to give props. I try to give props to it to where it's due, to where like it was like a emotional moment for him, but it didn't feel like it was properly built up. Just kind of felt like, oh, you just yeet him off in this one little moment, like where it's just revealing, like, oh, he was behind all of this, and this is what you give. It just didn't feel like it was a good payoff. Like, it felt like it just missed somewhere, and it just fell flat. Like, I wanted to be interested in. I heard there was going to be a second core, but they haven't officially confirmed anything about it. It was just rumors, apparently. It's just rumors for now.
Wait, so you actually finished the entire all of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
So dejected.
It was.
Did it leave off on like an open note, or for it to warrant a second season?
Not
really.
I wouldn't say it's completely closed, but it just feels like, not even worth a continuation at this point, the way it left it off. And it doesn't even feel like anything was really explored as well as it should be, or like more like when they did, it was just dumping a bunch of info that I could care less about. That was
like the thing. I don't know. I just didn't care for. I didn't care for the characters. I could never get emotionally invested.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal for me. I mean, if you can't get into the characters, like, I don't care if I don't care about the characters, I don't care what they're trying to give to me. Like, I don't care what they're trying to tell me what's going on with them.
That's fair.
I tried to care. I wanted to believe that maybe they're morally great, but their actions are just really confusing. Just like, do they have agency? Or are they acting in character? What is going on here? Like, I'm just so.
I guess what I would say I liked the most was there were some pretty nice action scenes in here. I mean,
it's kind of sloppy though, in my opinion.
I mean,
it doesn't feel very.
I feel like it was pretty.
Well, the first episode has some crisp.
Yeah, the first episode, especially, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's some nice action pieces. Are they the best? No, like, but.
Yeah, at least the action is kind of worth it.
That's about like what I don't know. That's, I guess, the biggest thing I liked. So that's not really saying a lot. I don't know. It just wasn't it.
Yeah.
Maybe it had some potential, but
I wanted to believe it because I didn't want to try to hate it, but it just kept confusing me. It just left me in confusion with each and every episode, and I try to give praise where it's due, but it just wasted it. And what the fuck was that final stretch with making his sister of all things the main boss just cuz, and then she's now part of the harem at the end? Yeah, what? I didn't know what it wanted to accomplish in the end. It's just I guess they're all engaged.
just not good.
Man.
Ouch.
Boy, do you have anything to input?
No, I haven't watched it. I don't really have anything to say other than the fact that if Mad Lad does decide to watch this podcast, he may not be happy.
I
He's
really
like watching this, like pulling out.
I really just I don't. Again, I didn't want to hate it, but it's just like it's so disappointing. Where I just when I talk about it, I just can't help but just bring up why it just fell off me in a way where it's just frustrating.
Like this ain't
because
even a good
it really wanted
like flick. I mean this like
it's easy. It doesn't even pass. It
I don't
barely
even get anything out of it if
all.
I'm like just sitting here chilling, like not even trying to get into it all like that. It just
yeah.
It seems like it's the type of show that you want to watch when you want to turn your brain off in a way.
Yeah.
From what you're explaining to me.
I think Queen does touch upon it. It's better if you don't think too much about it.
It gets a little spicy, and then there's like a cool action scene that follows in most of the episodes. So
I tried to make sense of it, but I'm just like, fuck, this doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just not even worth trying to look too much into it.
But yeah, any final thoughts on Engage Kiss?
Not really.
I'm done. I'm done.
So I also propose that we skip this next one, My Isekai Life, because I haven't watched it. Yeah, and I know you guys don't hold it in high regard.
I haven't watched it.
So the next one would be Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting.
Yeah,
one of the best from the season.
Yeah, I agree. This was one of the best of the season for sure. This is probably one of my favorites of the year too. Honestly,
of the year. Wow,
yeah.
Damn.
The last part, the last episode, the last couple of episodes, like even that, but the last episode where man was visiting his grave, and we see a flashback of him, and I know I may be a little spoiled. I'm sorry, but and then you just see like the meaning of the flowers, like he was like young Kyusha was asking his mom about the flowers, and then he asked about this one particular flower, like, and she's like, "Oh, it's a secret." And then later on, his parents passed away in different ways, and then when he found out about the meaning of the flowers, it's just like, oh my god, that just hit.
Yeah.
Even in that moment, it just hit, just like, dang. So I was just because you have to think like this is why he was a Yakuza in the first place and why he was known as a devil, and then it's like, what? It's like, what was all this for? Why not? Why now did I figure this out? It was sad. It was really sad because and you could see that Kirishima is, probably at least at some point now can find a more human side of him now that he's the babysitter of Yaika. I mean, It was wholesome. Their interactions are some of the best things. Of course, it's not going to top. There's no way it's topping Shadow and Takuna. No means, but it's really wholesome.
Yaika's she's just like really adorable.
And she even acts more like a mother. Like she has this sort of big like main mother stats when she's trying to address Kirishima in some ways, it's kind of funny when the banners go.
Yeah, it's funny because like her dad will tell her to like make sure she like gets at Kirishima or has him make up for it. I remember like towards the tail end of the series, it might have been in the last episode. She was like they went out like to like they went out like shopping or something, and she kept like reminding him the whole time like you're gonna make up for it today, and she, I don't know, just like her little like the facial expressions that they draw for her is like they're just really like they're either really funny or really like wholesome, and just just like their relationship. And I feel like the serious, because like I feel like this series is a mix of like really really wholesome stuff, but then also like it can get pretty serious. But I feel like the serious moments don't like. It's kind of like
they don't have a juxtaposition. It just doesn't like try to hammer it in. But like when it comes, it comes.
Especially with Kirishima's, like, I mean, what we know he is like in his past. I feel like they went into it pretty good. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites, especially because of the relationship between the two main characters, the development for Kirishima, the cast around him. Now the cast around him isn't anything like too crazy, but
Yeah.
I do like them. But I mean, it's really all about Kirishima and Yaika, and I mean Yaika with her mother. That content, and then just I don't know, her being essentially the light in Kirishima's life. I mean, I really liked it. It's nothing like too crazy complex story wise, but it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah. It's sadly like the manga isn't that far in, at least from the translated chapters. So I wish it can continue. So maybe down the road, I don't know. Like I doubt it gets season 2, but it was just like maybe down the road it can continue, and then we can get more of it. Like maybe we can see Yaiga's mom like at least wake up and give some peace of mind. But it's like, man, even then, we still liked we still can appreciate what we got in terms of like, even if it's not resolved here, there's hope. There is some hope. There is some hope at the down the stretch, like in the future. And
a lot of people compare it to like the shows like Hinamatsuri. What was like another one of the recent ones? I think it was like Kakushi Goto.
Yeah.
Like Barakamon, like shows like that. It kind of has that sort of
dynamic,
feeling, to it. So if you like those kinds of shows, I would definitely check this one out for sure.
All right, I don't think I have much else to say here. I mean, does Kawaii have something to say about it?
No, I didn't watch it. So
I was gonna say I don't know if anyone else watched it.
What else is there?
Next up on the list is Ayumu. Will Ayumu make his move? So I think that's the English title.
He didn't.
He didn't. All right, let's just leave it at that. Let's move on.
I mean, really, you could.
He didn't.
Jeez.
Oh man.
Which one of these ones do you guys like really want to talk about? Because I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, I
would like to talk about Shadow House, but pretty much the only one that really kind of enjoyed it. And I know it's like because it's more like that slow build up. It needs another season to really start paying off more.
The only one I know that was actually widely received as fairly decent was Parallel Wolf Pharmacy. That's the only thing I know.
Yeah, I saw more people talking
that was
about
good.
That one. Yeah.
Because
at first I didn't hear anyone talking about it, but it was like as it went on, I started seeing more and more about it, and the rating was like, I feel like the rating was like progressively getting higher as I was like kind of keeping tabs on it.
I think there was that one that it did. I personally didn't like it, but it did have one good episode with the guy where I think he lost his. The guy just got kind of kicked out, and then he got his property ransacked. But the main character just gave him a home.
Okay, I know what episode you're talking about. Yeah.
I forgot which episode number it was. I'm sorry.
I don't remember either, but I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, that one was good. That episode was good. Yeah.
That one, and then I think it's the main character's dad, like the enemy that he was friends with him at first, and the next thing you know, like do something. Well, because he was a person who liked to experiment on people, and such. So he got kicked out. A whole bunch of other things happened from what I remembered, and then he got his like half of his face burned, but he was the reason why the Black Plague came to exist in the show. I thought that was interesting, but I mean, it's just medicine, isekai and medicine, so it was good though.
Yeah. I don't have much else to say about it otherwise. I just like it's just kind of there. I don't really have much. I don't really want to talk much about it because I don't think it's something that I will remember anytime soon. At least for me personally. I do think it's worth it for those who do like a little twist with the usual isekai formula. I mean, it does seem to do a decent job, at least in that department. I don't know about everything else. That's kind of a personal thing, but I do think can turn out to be a nice surprise for those who do kind of like their isekai. So yeah. Anything else? I guess.
You say you don't want to talk about Shadow House season 2, right?
Yeah, because I kind of already talked about it as much as I could in the last one, and
the only
it's
other
just kind of like
I've watched, or
yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Black Summoner. I mean, yeah, I did talk about it back in the last podcast. I pretty much said all I needed to say. I mean,
Yeah.
I did enjoy it, but like I feel like I think I'm the only one who's watching this, right? So it's just
yeah.
it's no fun talking about this on my own, like these shows on my own. So all right, so we're gonna skip
RWBY anime is disappointing.
The RWBY anime was okay. Just go watch the original series and just stop at volume 3. Don't watch anything else. Okay?
Yeah,
You don't need to know anything else about that series.
The only thing that really stood out to me from this one was Hiro Nagata's unbelievably good cuts, but those are so far and few in between. So it was just like
I can only.
I didn't get much else out of it. I just got lost through through that whole stretch, and I came with not much else. And I do think I will get more out of it when I do decide to go watch the original source material at some point, like as Queen did suggest.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do at some point. Just watch.
Yeah, I mean the
Drop
original series is good. It's just right after, because I can't talk about spoilers. Between
Understandable.
volume 3 and volume 4, it declines.
Yes.
The
Oh, yeah.
animation gets better for it, but it gets
story.
really, really boring for the story. And
Oh,
I don't even know what I think they're on volume like 8 or 9, and I stopped at like volume 6 when it got really bad. I just done.
Did they just make a Full Metal Alchemist deal where it just traded art for writing?
Well, they ran. I mean, they ran out of the original script.
Because
yeah,
the original
yeah.
creator he passed away after like sometime after volume 3. So they
That
just
was
made up
unfortunate.
everything else.
That's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Is there anything? We're not talking about Biscuit Hammer, please.
Yeah. Oh wait, no wait. Fuuto PI is after RWBY, and I know you guys like that.
It's not finished airing. It's a fun show.
I think it has 2 more episodes.
For Tante, it's a fun show. I mean, I don't think it's a
fun little buddy cop.
I think it's
kind of show. It's nothing like. It started off when the first episode, I was like, okay, this may be something like I really, really like, but it kind of just like fizzled out and was like something that I was like, watching where I was like, okay, this is solid, but it's not like it didn't turn out to be as good as maybe I thought it was gonna be after like the first episode. But it's still, I think it's still a good watch. I mean, if you're looking for like well, I'm sure like the Kamen Rider fans are watching it and keeping up with it.
Oh yeah, Kamen Rider fans are all over this one.
But yeah, if you're looking for like a buddy cop kind of series, that's kind of what it is, I guess. It has some cool transformations. I do like the transformations in it. But like whole like, yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know. It kind of just fizzled out. It's an all right watch, I guess, each week for me.
I was going to talk about Tokyo Mew, whatever. I'm just going to say this. I don't like the original, but please just watch the original.
Ow.
This one, I feel like...
Wait. I'll say this. If you like the original, that is okay. If you are someone who read the manga, kind of watch this. It's just, if you're someone who also watched Sailor Moon Crystal, and you like the manga, just watch that. Same thing with this. Just watch new. Don't watch the original. But if you're someone who watched the original and who wants to watch new, don't watch it.
Oh yeah, so it's just one or the other.
It's just, and I'm gonna be stupid and I'm gonna watch the second half because it goes a little too fast.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And so when I was watching it every week, I was like, okay, we did volume 1, we did volume 2. I was like, we're almost done, so what are we doing for the rest of this show? But
it just felt like they were just skippity-doo-dah.
They skipped like a lot of parts.
because it just felt like some parts where there's a lot of things in between, like maybe some focus on certain characters, especially with I think the what was it? What was I forgot, God damn it.
Mint?
Yeah, with Mint, and there's also like Ichigo and and with her relationship, and it just felt like there's a lot of, and I noticed because I watched the original, and it just felt like a bunch of stuff just got missing in context.
I feel like they're more developed in the original series than they are in this because if you just like with Sailor and Crystal, it's just the whole series with no development. And while in the original series, you get to know the characters more. With this, it's the exact same thing. And I'm like, it's just half-assed.
Yeah. Oof. Sometimes, because sometimes even with the original Sailor Moon, like, yeah, there's filler, but it kind of actually helps flesh out things in a way. You know, compared to Crystal, where they're just skimming through the whole thing. It's that kind of thing. That's why it's so iffy with filler. And I can understand where filler may feel useless, but at the same time, like, when it does matter, it doesn't matter when it fleshes out certain characters in a meaningful way. That's good filler. But then again, like, it's a mixed bag with filler, and we're not gonna talk about shonen filler. Like, that's a whole another bag of can of worms open. But yeah, just either watch this or watch the original. Pick your choose. Like, if you want to watch both like I did, go ahead too. If you're like me, then. But yeah.
Oh yeah. So other than that, we can probably skip these next two shows. Memory. I know you're watching Utawarerumono.
Yeah.
I am too, but I don't have a single good opinion on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't.
I don't have one single good opinion on it, and it's sad because I know it was adapting a really great source material, and I'm not gonna say this is like a visual novel, just a visual novel thing. Just the production in general feels like there was not much good planning going into this, which is sad because this was apparently in the green lighted for a long time, apparently, from what I found out.
I've heard White Fox, even like going back to the ReZero season 2, like they've been having a lot of issues. So
yeah, it's just there's just nothing to talk about. It's just there for me, and it's sad
I do find the whole well, I was gonna say, like, I started the visual novel for it, so I need to, like, because pretty much I was gonna try and catch up, like, with the visual novel before.
From what I've heard,
but I never did it. But
from what I've heard, and sorry if
Kong
is more. From what I've heard, Kong is more fleshed out in the visual novel. From what I heard, that's what I heard.
Like, even when the previous season, the False Faces, when that was out, people were saying, like, do the visual novel, visual novel.
That's usually the case.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's not like where, like, with the Fate series, like, you could just go ahead and, like, read the visual novel, but it's not like, it's going to take away anything from the anime because the anime is like, it's bad. But it's just like, it's a great presentation, but it's just like, if you want extra content, you can go with the visual novel. But this is more like, please just must read the visual novel, if anything, because this is just not doing it. And
yeah, there's been moments, even going back to the previous season, where I'm just like, it feels like I do not, or like, it feels like I should feel a certain way about a scene, but I just don't, probably because, like, I don't have everything.
There was one point where
I remember the crying.
Was crying. I was supposed to feel something about it.
I think it was his voice actor.
I hate to say this. I laughed. I literally just laughed.
I don't know. I think it was it was the way his voice actor.
It's like the Boruto thing where he was crying, and then I just, like, that was literally almost the exact same thing. I just feel bad because
it was the voice actor. I'm sorry, but I just don't think I don't know if the voice actor just. I don't know. But that.
I think he just missed the mark, and it just came out really silly sounding.
Yeah, it did.
Like, he probably didn't mean
do agree with that.
It's just kind of like, that's a really oofed moment, because, like, it just
didn't. They made it seem like it was supposed to be an emotional moment. but
yeah,
he sounded
just
like
sounded
that,
like
and I
that.
was just like, jeez. But I do like the like the whole thing with like Haku and like some of the other characters like figuring out his true identity. Same thing with like Kuon.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
What they did with that.
Dude, like the cat's almost
But,
out of the bag
yeah,
at any point.
I don't know. I'm just at a point where like I'm still keeping up with it. I'm still watching it, but like in my mind, I just know like I'm gonna get everything at some point because I'm gonna go through the visual novel. I'm only like 5 or 6 hours into it, so.
Oh, I see.
There's not really much I want to say.
I might check that out at some point.
Because the visual novel is one of the highest rated visual novels.
Because I know
Nick
was saying, Nick in my server was just saying like, yeah, they're just butchering everything about the emotional parts because he really loves the source material, but they're just butchering it. And I saw a clip of one of the stuff that I feel like I remember, and I'm just like, oh fuck, that hits. And when I see the anime's a reiteration of it, I'm just like, they missed here. It just like it's just one of those where like it just didn't click in anime form when it was supposed to. They had that chance and they just the poor plan just fucked it up. If anything.
That's really it though for me. I don't really have much to say.
So I mean, I did watch Bucchigire, which is the next anime, but same goes with Black Summoner. I'm the only one who watched it, and I don't feel like discussing it on my own. So let's move on. Oh, what was that?
At best, it's just there. For what
I
it is.
actually gotta wrap this up. I had to head out.
Okay.
I've been going on for a while.
Wait, Ryu, have you watched this show? Bucchigire?
Yeah, wasn't feeling any of it. Sadly, it's just there, like I said before.
I mean, yeah, I think there is some good action and there's some good characters, but for the most part, I kind of would consider this like kind of a popcorn flick because like it's really nothing special, but it's serviceable. Like in terms of like action and the characters. They're not the most well-written characters. They're not the best action we've ever seen, but it's just I kind of agree. It's just there. So let's move on to. Should we move on to Love Live?
I wanted to talk about Shine Post.
Oh,
I did. Shine Post was a surprise. I didn't know what to think, but it has a nice looking production. I won't say it's anything groundbreaking, but it does have a really nice set of likable characters. And the dancing was really nice. I actually kind of like it's not an Idol Master level for me personally, but it's pretty clean when it comes down to it in some points. And story-wise, it's not really anything particularly crazy and all, but it's just really quite enjoyable. It's not up there, but I found it one of the more enjoyable shows from summer, which says a lot because I don't really care for a majority of everything else. Otherwise, sadly,
I was watching it, but honestly, I agree. I like the dancing stuff, but I don't know.
The story isn't really anything too special.
Yeah, I don't like I don't know if it's changed, but at least where I left off, I just like it was getting kind of old for me. Like the main guy, I don't even remember his name, but the guy, like his ability or whatever, I don't think
it was a issue, but it's more
I don't know.
I think it could have just been done without it, and it would just be like, oh, he's just really good at reading someone's emotions and be able to tell if they're lying or not through that. I can understand that, although it would ruin the moment of the meaning of Shine Post. But yeah, I get where that issue is. But again,
it just wasn't
isn't even anything that
much
special. But I think it's decent enough to where like it can hold its own. But I can get people not really rolling with this one compared to something like maybe Love Live.
Yeah, we could talk about Love Live.
I think that's the last thing we can talk about.
There's not really anything else in it.
Okay. So yeah, we'll wrap it up with Love Live then.
What do you guys think? Just hold in.
Even though it's not done, I feel like Mad Lad, you should have continued watching because this last episode and that ending. As someone who just watched it like several hours ago, yeah.
Wait, did Mad Lad drop it?
Yeah, he dropped it.
What?
Ouch.
I'm actually surprised about that. Like,
I
honestly,
mean,
I
still think
haven't felt as strong for this season personally as the previous season, but I wouldn't go as so far to drop it.
I don't know.
I think the reason. Go ahead, good.
I personally am not feeling this Love Live edition. Sadly, I still have my affiliate. My far stronger feelings for Nijigasaki cast. This one, I wouldn't say it's worth dropping. Although I don't. It's just I do feel like I'm not so sure how to feel about where the story is going right now with these last couple of episodes. I feel like I personally feel like Margaret's character feels like I feel like there's something missed out. I feel like there could have been something done more in terms of her character, like the agency she has, like why is she there? Like it just feels like she's just there's a rival. I feel like there could have been more to it, and it only comes up more when it's revealed that she was being told like to get Kanon to
go to Vienna.
Yeah, and I just don't know. I just felt like Margaret's, role just felt like it was misplayed, and like I got disappointed because I felt like that could have been a great sort of element to probably have a better season, because I wasn't feeling the first season at all. Like I don't totally hate it. It's just more like I wasn't feeling it like with the previous Love Live edition, which is Yasuki, of course, because she doesn't have that sort of that enigma that I got when Langzu was there for me personally. Like Langzu, at least, like she had that sort of charisma to her. For Margaret, it just felt cold, and maybe that's the intended, and maybe because of that we can get more out of it. Like she would come off as someone who has some sort of deep-seated motive, but I don't know, it just lost me there.
See,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like they need to do like a OVA on her, possibly.
Yeah.
Heck, I even thought about like saying if this show was the first to get like a season 3, then they could focus on her character. Then you gotta also think, of course, it is gonna get a movie just like everybody in the past, except Nijigasaki hasn't been confirmed for a movie yet, as far as I know. But it's gonna happen because it's happened with the other 2 series. Now, let's say, because Chi wants Kanan to go to Vienna, and let's say in the movie they all go see her. Yeah. Then they could establish Margaret's character a little bit more, because there is something else there. It's just bringing it out,
It's the second last episode. There's one more episode, right? It could be just a setup to. I could see a setup to where Kanan does go off somewhere, and maybe it's just some sort of closure and whatnot, and maybe in the future, like try to wrap it up in a way where it does feel like a season finale, where it does make for a good finale for the season, but also leave it to where there should be more to come with Kanan and then possibly Margaret. And maybe hopefully more of the other characters, because I couldn't get into even the new ones. Like I was barely really feeling it for any of the main characters we got from the first season, and then these new ones, I just wasn't there with them either. And so I just hope there's more they can do with it if it does get a movie, which I'm pretty sure it will. There's just a lot of things that I feel like maybe if you do a little bit of adjustments here and there, it would have clicked better for me, because I did want to like Superstar when it first aired, and I just hope I can leave off on a more positive note, if anything.
I know like that's like what they do with the Love Live series, is like they add like more characters, but I don't know. I like it wasn't enough for me to drop it or anything like that. Like my enjoyment like didn't lower that much, but I don't know. I just couldn't latch onto or get into the new cast,
the new girls.
As much as I was like when Superstar first.
It was just the core 5. Yeah. When it was the same.
Yeah.
It took me like a good minute to like really like the other four because I was like, the 5 are perfect. We don't need extra girls, and I thought it was really unnecessary. So like I think
we didn't need the extra characters there. Like with Nijigasuki, like when Nijigasuki introduced new people, they didn't feel like they were being obstructive. It just felt like they were just kind of, tagged along. Like you kind of need them there. With these new ones in Superstar, I just don't feel like they made much of a difference in the story as they should have, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it leaves off, especially how the second to last episode left off.
I feel like they're just gonna do the same like for the ending of Nijigasaki, where you know how like Ayamu eventually went to London. It's gonna be Kana. She's gonna go to Vienna, and then that's it.
That's up for the movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Maybe one final performance before they send her off. I
was just thinking about this, but has there like I don't know if it would be kind of like crazy to say this, but has there been a Love Live that is like the setting is in space?
No. You're thinking more like
I'm thinking of like Macross. I'm thinking of Macross.
That too, and you're thinking of Aikatsu. Those, and then maybe a little bit of Pretty Powder. I'm not sure.
I was going to say, imagine if they had
time.
Wait, what is it?
Imagine if they had a Love Live.
Hold on, I'll type it.
Imagine if they had a Love Live in space.
I might have seen it. I do not know. I've actually seen Pretty Powder somehow. I actually somehow did see Pretty Powder. I don't remember too much of it though. It's like, Aikatsu. Yeah. It was in space at one point.
Oh, okay.
It was.
I was gonna say, imagine if there was like a Love Live like series that was set in space. That would be like.
I mean, you never know. They could do it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. I mean, if the Love Live franchise does keep going on, it will happen.
They're gonna milk that thing. They're already making another game to the Skull Idol Festival. No, it's the All-Star game, and they're making a sequel to that game. Which has everybody in it now.
Holy!
Oh, they're gonna. Love Live's just like.
It's gonna be like the pre-cure. It's gonna be like the pre-cure movies.
It's getting milked, and I like it, but then at the same time, I'm like, okay, when are we stopping?
It is gonna be. I haven't seen pre-cure. I haven't seen the pre-cure movies, but I know that's literally a pre-cure movie moment where they just have everyone from the.
Well, okay, with recent Pretty Cure stuff. Like they kind of stopped using everyone all the way from Futariwa to the party. So now it's like they only take the most recent series and then bring those 3 together. But if you ever were to watch like the Pretty Cure movies, watch the like older ones because that has everyone and they're really good.
I see. So. No, that's pretty much all I really need to say about it. Like, despite whatever, I don't have particularly, strong positive feelings for it. I just hope it leaves us on a good note to where we can be hopeful, like, maybe a movie will wrap this up as well as it can. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, are we ready to wrap up this podcast?
Pretty much. Unfortunately, without Ramen because he had to bounce out, sadly.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Yeah. But yeah, overall, summer 2022, I wouldn't say it's... I think I like spring season more. But I think there were still quite a bit of enjoyable shows coming out of the summer season.
I got a good amount of really enjoyable ones and a favorite. And a new favorite.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to these guys' channels. Follow me on Twitter. Support me on Patreon. Links in the description down below. And I will see you guys next time.